Islam family. I'm DJ Bay. I domicile in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan right now. And I'm here to support the information for the benefit of the people. You know, it's iron sharpens iron. So no hard feelings. We all just here for the upliftment of fallen humanity. That's all.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So, family, I want to show y'all while my brother waiting to call back. What I need to do right now, I want to show y'all something. This is something that I displayed last night. And then let me tell you something. All my Black Power brothers, all my genetic science brothers, I want y'all to know that I want to apologize because you have been attacked. You think you're attacking me when you come at me, when you start talking about the land of Mu. We don't subscribe to that in the Moorish Science Temple of America. When you say we believe in something like the land of Mu, this we don't subscribe to that. When you when you say, oh, y'all think y'all from Morocco or y'all Moroccan, we never said that. You have a misunderstanding due to those who misappropriated the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You know what I mean? Moorish Americans, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali asked us a very simple question. It said, what is your nationality? Moorish American. What is his nationality? Speaking to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Moorish American. Anything other than that is a twist. Somebody put a twist on it. When you started looking at, they call it America Al-Morocco. I can even accept that. But don't say the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that. He never said that. He said the Moroccan Empire extended from northwest, south, east, northwest, northwest and southwestern shores of Africa, over the Great Atlantis, even to the Americas. He never said anything about Al-Morocco. Never. Not him. Not him. You can put that on anybody else, but you can't put that on Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Again, Taj will say something to the effect like study, study, study. The Prophet said study, study, study. And then he will go on to and talk about constitutional law. The Prophet never ever said study, study, study. Never, ever, ever. He also goes on to say that the Prophet said, protect your prophet in the Moorish national and divine movement. The Prophet never said that. He used these things to jump into a topic to support his position. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, protect I the prophet and the temple. The temple. He changes the temple into the Moorish National and Divine Movement, which in the time of the Prophet, they were one and the same. How do they mix and separate now? I don't know. Even brothers like Roy Bey talking about, oh, we deal with the national side. No, the temple deals with both. They did it like that in the time of the Prophet, and we doing that in this day and time. And who cares if temple's falling short? We here to put them on notice. All right, hold on. Islam family there? Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear. Give me a second. Let me finish talking to the family. I'm about to sit you up so the people can hear you. Give me 1 second. Islam, let me say something, family.
Yeah, Islam, Islam family.
Okay, you loud and clear. You loud and clear. So what I was saying is this. We got another brother that's on the panel. He's going to add to the discussion. And in reality, I don't know if he with or against. Because we never even discussed it. And the brother can verify we never even discussed it. Because at this point, I wouldn't even care if you with or against. If you're about the truth, you ain't going to come here with emotions. So if you got some truth where you can say that, nah, now let me show you how Taj and the Prophet is speaking the same language. And you can literally show me. You can say Taj says this and the Prophet says this. And then I will have to say, man, listen, man, hold up. I'm gonna have to metaphorically tuck my tail and go before the people and say, man, listen, I was in error. I made a mistake. Brother Taj is teaching the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I will have to do that as a man, as a Moorish American. However, I don't feel that's going to ever be the case. Mind you, you brothers and sisters in the temple, you ain't off the hook. The only reason that something like this can grab wheels and go down the highway because you wasn't on the highway. That's it. So y'all in the temple saying, man, Tariq Bey, calm down. Man, leave me alone. Don't bother me. I got work to do. I got work to do. Because the only reason this car of Jaguar got some gas and went down the highway because Moors like me, you, and everybody else in the temple was not on the highways and byways. So honor to Taj Tariq Bey for at least demonstrating his portion according to his understanding and bringing people into the knowledge of the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the name of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because you brothers in the temple wasn't doing it. So we got to at least give him honor for that. But right there is where the buck stops. The buck stops right there. Because now I come to see that, hold up now, we got to get back to what made the Prophet and the Moors successful. Because obviously for 20 years, whatever Taj been doing haven't been successful. Obviously for 20 years, what the temple's been doing haven't been successful. Now, the temples are not off the hook. I don't know why people think that the temples are off the hook. I'm speaking of me too. I'm leading the charge. And I'm saying, Moors, let's get together. Let's make this happen. Whether you are RB Bey, you're going to have to let that go. The reason why you're going to have to let it go, because you say you follow the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Not because you like, it's not like you subscribing to be a Hebrew Israelite. And I'm saying you have to let that go and come with me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you say you subscribe to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and the teachings that you have do not match up, be a man, be a woman, and let it go. Let's let it go, and let's do exactly. If we can do literally what the Prophet did. The Prophet had a list, I think it was an accounting, of over $250,000. $250,000. That was for one temple. That was for one temple. Now, mind you, y'all might say, well, the Prophet was doing it since 1913. Calm down. Chill out. The height of the movement was from 26 to 29, less than 3 years. Less than 3 years. Every temple was successful. Less than 3 years. What can we do in 3 years besides try to clean up the mess from 80 years ago? What can we do? So periodically, I'm going to be addressing some of this stuff. Whether you RB Bey, Moorish American National Republic, Moorish American government, I'm calling names. Calling names, man. We got to get back to the Moorish Science Temple of America. If you go to a temple and it ain't right, guess what? It's your job to try to clean house and fix it up. If you got to step out on a limb on your own and say, I represent the Moorish Science Temple of America, but I don't really rock with them on the philosophical approach, but those are my brothers, but I represent the Moorish Science Temple of America, because guess what? Nobody got a monopoly on the word of God. Nobody. And don't let nobody tell you something like that you can't represent the Moorish Science Temple of America because you are not a part of one of these groups. If the group ain't right, the Prophet said it best. If the Prophet ain't right, the temple ain't right. And you can see that if the Prophet ain't, you can see when the Prophet ain't there, because there ain't nothing jumping. Ain't nothing happening. Ain't no fire there. You go there, you're like you're going to a funeral. But that's another story, and that's another show. With that, I want to bring my brother that's on the phone. He's waiting. We're going to have a hot conversation tonight. Brother, Islam, peace and love. How you doing, brother? Welcome back. Last night, we had a real nice conversation to talk to the people for a minute. My brother, come on in and talk to the people, brother. How you doing?
All right. Peace. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, but let me make sure the audience can hear you loud and clear, because I want them to get this message. This show is called Taj Tariq Bey, Gross Negligence, the recklessness of his teachings. I don't care. Tell who you want. And when I say I don't care, it doesn't mean I don't care about the situation or the circumstances behind it, but I don't care if you get mad. We're going to get this truth out. Brother, let the people know. So yesterday, anyway, no. Yesterday we were talking, and you said that you were a part of the inner circle of the Taj Tariq program or regime, if you will. I coined the phrase. Yeah, I'm a little bit witty. I coined the phrase. I said Taj Tariqism. You were a part of the inner circle. You know what I'm saying? You was about to, that wasn't no Islamism, Taj Tariqism. That's what I call it. No, I'm just playing.
Right.
So, brother, let's go back to the beginning. What interests you into the Moorish Science Temple of America, or did you get interested in hearing Taj Tariq and you wasn't clear about what the Moorish Science Temple of America was?
Okay, well, at that time, I was a 5%er, okay, and I had joined the Nation of Islam, but I had moved to an area where I didn't necessarily get along with the brothers who were heading and governing that mosque at that time. You know, so what I ended up doing was I ended up keeping my family home, you know, and just started doing my own research. I had a book called Supreme Understanding that I had bought. And, you know, based off of me being, you know, Allah's 5% Nation of Gods of Earth, I knew that the information that was in the book was not 100% all wise, right, and exact. So what I ended up doing was I've known that if that one wasn't right and exact, then I would have to do my own research about the other organizations, because I had been in the Nation of Islam and I had been in the Nation of Gods of Earth. So I was like, well, let me have to look up who this man, Noble Drew Ali, is. You know, because I had seen a fez, like, but I never really knew what it was because he didn't look like the Muslims that I was used to. The Muslims that I was used to, they were either clean shaven, bow tie suit, you know what I mean, with the haircut, or they were, you know, Sunni, Shiite type, you know, Muslims with the beard and, you know, they look real Arabic. So he kind of looked more Arabic to me. So I had to go and start doing my research. So when I started doing my research, you know, I went on to Google and I started, you know, typed in his name, and then I was like, okay, so, you know, and then I read it. So what I ended up doing was I ended up going on YouTube. Now, when I went on YouTube, you know, I had seen videos of, at the first video I had seen was driver's license fraud. Okay, where it's a part series, excuse me, where Brother Taj would speak on the driver's license fraud and how it was a fraud and how it was just a way to tag licensed people, attach a fee to a natural right that was substantive, that was inalienable, that we were guaranteed by the Constitution as the right to travel, you know, right. and according to his interpretation, you know. So I started, you know, looking at that, and then I started seeing how he was saying, okay, the money is worthless and it's fiat currency as a debt note. Right. You know what I mean? Because of the bankruptcy and the New Deal Act of 1933, which also allowed us to be able to discharge and offset debts according to HJR 192. So I started, you know, studying a little bit more of that. Now, so every video that I had seen, you know, woman in matriarchy, divine warning, you know what I mean, to the nations, things of that nature, I started, you know, basically studying and watching more and more and more. So It got to the point where I'm like, okay, well, look, I'm pretty much convinced, maybe not 100% as to the accuracy of these things, but deep inside in my own mind, I feel like it's good enough for me to say, okay, I want to learn more, and I want to go in the physical, and I want to know, where are these people at? Where do I find them? You know, do they have a meeting place? Because, you know, Muhammad has his mosque. You see what I'm saying? And we had rallies, you know, and ciphers in the Gods of Earth. So I was looking, where could I go, like the Law School of America, you know, where could I go to find, you know, these teachings and hear more about this? So, mind you, I didn't hear nothing about, you know, divine constitution bylaws. I didn't hear really nothing about Noble Drew Ali, because when I went and studied and I seen the fez, so I was like, okay, well, this is what they teach, obviously, because he has on the same hat that they have on. And you know what I mean? They're talking about some of the same sort of similar freedoms, but I never heard the processes and procedures that were actually done in the Moorish Science Temple of America. At this time, I had not.
So, brother, let me do this. Let me back up real quick, because I want to catch some of these points, and then we carry on with the story. Okay. And so I'm gonna stop you right here. I want to ask you, first of all, on the right to travel, right? On the right to travel, I know that you had said yesterday that you had extensive experience into the workings of all of these systems, right? Now the right to travel. Have you ever demonstrated the right to travel?
Yes.
You demonstrated, bro?
Plenty.
Hey, brother, plenty. I want to go back. We can jump back forward and jump back, right?
Now, I didn't say that they was always successful.
Right.
Let's do clarify. But yes, I have, because that was what was taught. You know what I mean? That this is the way that we're supposed to live, and you're not free if you are not able to do these things.
But let me ask you a question.
So yes,
were you ever instructed to say, do you have a delegation of authority? Is that common protocol?
That is like A, B, and C, and 1, 2, and 3 of your numbers and your letters. You ask for the delegation of authority order because unless you have a delegation of authority order signed by Congress, or Article 3 judge, stating that anyone has any authority to even tell you anything or enforce anything. And if they don't have a nationality card, then they have no stand in that law anyway. That is what we were taught at that time, and that was the protocol. So, but go ahead.
So and has any police ever, as you know in your experience, now let me jump forward. How long do you say I think yesterday you said from 2014 or
no, from 2009 to 2014.
2009 to 14. Now, has any officer of the law or the courts, have they ever produced this card or this notice of delegation of authority? Have you ever seen it produced or heard of it produced? Like somebody said, man, they finally up in California, I got pulled over. I asked them for delegation of authority. They showed it to me. So have they ever produced it one time?
No, they're not gonna. Whoever told you that is lying.
No, nobody told me that. I'm just saying, every video I see when they ask for jurisdiction,
they're asking the wrong people. You don't ask the police for authority, delegation of authority order. At the time when going through these processes and procedures and learning these things from, the RV Bay publications or the Moorish History and Heritage School, that is what was told and said and taught. So therefore, that is what we requested, and we were, requiring from, as we call them, policy enforcers, because to call them police officers would be, more so of a accolade. So we would call them exactly, we would say public servants, or we would call them policy enforcers. You see what I'm saying? So but when you ask that to them, only thing that they can show you is a name, a badge, a business card, like a badge number, et cetera, or call their supervisor. You see what I'm saying? Delegation of authority order is something that is given by Congress, to judges.
But that's what I'm saying, brother. So I'm just saying, to make that a standard protocol in teaching in these classes and telling people to ask for delegation authority, I just thought maybe at one day in 20 years, somebody was like, you know what, here you go. My delegation of authority. Put your hands behind your back. But that's just one day.
No, they'll show you that delegation of authority order. It's called a nightstick, some mace, and a taser, and a gun, and a boot.
So last but not least, we're going to move back up. But brother, I want to ask you this: have you ever? I got to say it right out right now. You say you was in the inner circle. Did Taj ever drive or be pulled over?
Have Taj ever been pulled over?
Yeah.
No. Do you want to know why?
Why is that?
Because he rides in the passenger seat. He knows what he's doing. He's very careful. You know what I mean? Meaning that he's not going to teach it and be caught actually in the act of driving it, or as they say, traveling. You know what I mean? His private automobile conveyance, which is they consider private property. You know what I mean? With the Supreme Court case law,
even if he drive in the passenger seats, have you ever witnessed somebody without a registered vehicle and tags?
No. The only person that had tags like that was Brother Nature in number 10 Asbury Park. He had a nice
Asbury Park in the building tonight too. Straight like that.
Okay. Yeah, ask them to ask Brother Nature what happened with the Mercedes-Benz with the 2 police officers at Asbury Park when they were meeting and Taj was there and Brother Nature was there. And they had a nice little gathering.
Well, we're gonna get back to that in a minute. Let's bring it back up. So you say you wasn't familiar with the Moors and the Fez because it wasn't typical of a Muslim, and then so you was given a history of yourself right there being introduced into the teachers. Go ahead, my brother.
Right. So I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm just really finding out about it and studying, and we taught not to take anything on face value from our previous teachers. So I'm doing the knowledge, you know what I mean? And so I'm basically, you know, going through it and trying to figure out where these guys are, where do they meet, what do they do, what do they call where they meet or whatever. At that time, I was looking for a temple, but I never heard of a temple. I did not know, you know, too much of anything about Moors or anything like that. But I was looking, it should be some type of place or gathering that they have. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, it's gotta be, you know what I mean? So I started, you know, trying to figure out, okay, well, I need to find these people right here in these videos and figure out where do I need to go. You know what I mean? So I started, you know what I mean, going on Facebook trying to figure out, do anybody know these people's names? Where do I go? You know, and then I started researching Bays because his name was Taj Tariq Bey. So I would put in B-Y, try to figure out something. So I started adding them on my friends list. And basically, I was reading the little YouTube comments and things of that nature. Well, then someone had slipped me a website. And it was, no. I searched for Moors up in the internet, and then I came across RV Bey website. You know what I mean? Because a sister, Naji Ula El, she tried to tell me, be careful because she did it before. You know, it's not easy. Like, you know, they will do this to you. They will do that to you. It's not how you think. It sounds good. And at that time, I'm like, this chick don't know what she talking about. Because what I heard, that's what I'm trying to get to. And that's what I'm trying to do. Because I'm trying to not only be God in my house, in my own cipher, but I want to be God in court. Like, I want to show and prove. So I kind of felt like, well, maybe she just dissatisfied. Maybe she didn't do it right. Maybe she didn't study enough. Maybe she skipped a step or slipped and should have said something else. So maybe she's just frustrated. So I don't want to take her, you know, advice. You know, she was really trying to tell me at that time. I don't want to take that as, you know, some type of, you know, prejudice or proof. So I didn't want her to fix my mind already. So I wanted to still seek. So she was like, all right. So she, you know, got me in contact with some brothers or whatever. But I went to the RV Bey website. When I went to the RV Bey website, I had went down to see the sister's name and the number up there, you know, and I don't really want to put her out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no need for names though, brother. We just want to
right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put, you know, it's basically, you know, a real sister that's close. We became close like that because I started talking with her and, you know, teaching and building and started going to visit her and things of that nature. So I would be there, you know, she would introduce me to her children, her grandchildren, you know, we'd be around there. I would bring my girlfriend who was at the time, you know, she had children or whatever. So we would go there and then she would eventually introduce me to Brother Taj. Okay, now at that time, I didn't really know Brother Taj had a following like that. Like, I just knew I just wanted to meet this guy or whatever like that. And then I heard enough of his teachings to the point where, you know, I'm going to ask him, where do we go? What do we do? So the sister basically told me that, you know, we go to these meetings or whatever like that, or lectures that they teach at, things of that nature. And then, you know, she told me how much it costs. Well, I said, look, I'm going to tell you right now, if I travel from all the way down here, you know what I mean, in Florida to go back up here, I'm not paying to get in. And that's crazy because if this stuff is true. So basically I was like, all right, well, cool. I could never, you know, get the Farrakhan like that. You know what I mean? So maybe I can get the Taj. So it was basically like me, you know what I mean, actually being able to have access to somebody who was telling me something, I want to be able to sit and talk and ask them. So, you know, got me right in. So we started going there or whatever, and, you know, the brother walked in, and we, you know, had the meeting or whatever like that. And, you know, when he was asking questions, I was raising my hand, showing him that I was well studied or whatever like that, because the sister was like, yo, you be on your stuff, you know what I mean, or whatever. And, you know, like I said, I would play this stuff day and night. I'll play it in my sleep. I will wake up. I could tell it, repeat it verbatim, etc. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to see more, and I wanted to know more. And what do I do? Where do I go? How do I make this official? Like, I want to be a part. So we ended up going, you know, back, and you know, we would sit, chill, talk with Brother Taj. You know what I mean? Shake hands, breathe, ask questions.
Let me get a channel break real quick, family. What you're watching now? I got a brother that has experienced within the inner circle of Taj Tariq Bey. The reason why I'm doing this is not about a smear campaign on Taj Tariq Bey.
No,
what we're doing is examining the doctrine in which he teaches, and I'm saying that it's not the doctrine
what he actually does.
That wasn't taught.
Versus what he actually does. You know, and how it actually goes down behind the scenes.
Right.
Because I found, you know what I mean? I found out later that people actually, like, it was like a mass phone. I was like, oh, snap. So I'm really, like, in here like that. So, you know what I mean? Because I would spend the night over there at the crib, you know, all types of things, like, you know, grocery shopping. Like,
hold up, bro.
I didn't. Yeah.
I just wanted to let people know that this is what we're watching. Some people may be just tuning in. And what we're talking about, I just want to put them on point that this is not a Taj Tariq Bey bashing video. I use the term gross negligence because that's actually a legal term. It's actually illegal. It's actually illegal. Yeah, it's like a legal term. And you know what I mean? And I thought it was fitting. But what we're doing is we're examining what Taj have taught the people over 20 years, and people thinking that it's Moorish science. It caused a lot of friction in our community as it relates to Moors. Even the Black Power community said, man, I ain't got no beef with you, but Moors used to walk up on me, and it was them Moors. It wasn't the temple Moors, it was them rogue Moors, and they was referring to those who was espousing the teachings that Taj Tariq taught. Now, I'm not blaming Taj for that. I'm just saying a lot of brothers that follow those teachings, they do come a little aggressive at you, and especially on the internet. I don't know what they do in your face, but they do come a little aggressive on the internet. But anyway, I want y'all to know what y'all watching. This is we're examining the doctrine as taught by Taj Tariq to be supposed to be Moorish science. I say it's not Moorish science. We have a brother on the line right now that was in the inner circle, and he's just sharing his experience. I have a brother on the panel that we're going to all discuss this once my brother on the line finish sharing his experience. The brother on the panel never met. He just reached out to me. So I don't know. It's going to go either way. If the brother win or against, we'll see. You know what I mean? Because I'm really not sure. I'm too busy to bet anybody. I'm just way too busy to do that. I wanted to call my brother. I really did. But I've just been too busy. But nevertheless, we'll just see. I don't have no problem if he's with it or against it. I'm just saying it's not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's Moorish science. So carry on, my brother.
All right, yeah, you have to put me on the narrative.
So let's move on up.
Yeah, we met him. Yeah, we moving on up.
Let's
you know
move
what I mean?
on up.
We meet him. We start hanging around. We start going. You know what I mean? Different places. We start going to different lectures and certain places.
I want to put some emphasis on this more. You said that you was grocery shopping with the brother, washing this like the group, the family unit.
Yeah, because at this time I didn't know that it was like you know what I mean? I just knew what I knew. You know what I mean?
No, I think what that speaks to is the relevance of how close you were in the circle. You know what I mean? Like I don't even go shopping with my grand sheep. I mean, come on, man. Come on now. Stop. So it just speaks to how close you are in the circle.
Yo, Sister Ross got a banging vegan spaghetti. No lie, true story. I had to put that in. I love that lady. Go ahead, yo.
Yeah. So, brother, you said so. Let me ask you this. So, I think we clear that you.
Yeah, we clear. It's how I came into what I saw.
Well, now, what I want to ask you, can you give us some examples? How did you remain a student? Or is there like a process where you become a teacher of it? Because I see these brothers like Remiel and these brothers, they doing little club lectures and little study groups, and they selling these little tickets. They selling this idea. You look at Cujo Even Cool Joe got locked up. I mean, somebody with his entourage got locked up, and you don't hear nothing about that.
Nothing happened.
Yeah,
nothing happened. I'm gonna tell you, nothing happened.
But let me ask you a question. Can you give us some examples of your experience of standing on law?
Okay. Yeah, my brother was with me. His friend, you know what I mean, and another friend of mine named Kenny. We had been downtown and had the car put a boot on and towed and things of that nature. Disputing that, going there, telling the police how they basically work for us, you know what I mean, and that they're a public servant and that we pay them, you know what I mean, and we don't serve them, so that it's illegal for them to tow our car because of the simple fact that the tow truck company, the parking agency doesn't actually work for the state. You know what I mean? That they're a private company and they're a contracted company. So therefore their laws are really not laws, but code, statute, policies, and ordinances. And that if a police officer who's sworn an oath to the Constitution, to protect me, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, without prejudice, so help them God, that they were actually violating their oath of office, you know what I mean, placing themselves in a dishonor, which was treason. You know what I mean? So basically, things like that. I've had wins and I've had losses. You know what I mean? So, they end up taking the car, whatever like that, threatening to sue them and things of that nature. And, went down there and, raised some hell about that. And then they was like, look, all the tickets, my brother had like $2,000 worth in parking tickets. All of the tickets got missing. And then all we had to do was pay $70 for the tow fee or whatever like that. And then I told, the tow people that next time somebody calls you to tow my car and there's no law broken, you know what I mean, or I'm there to move my car, you can't just tow it just because a police who work for me say to tow it. You know what I mean? They're causing you to break the law. So, I mean, it's been situations like that. It's been situations like, they wanted my old name, and I was like, no, that's X-Rail, I don't deal with that, and, little things like that. But, you know what I mean? There has never been any lawsuits that I've seen anybody place. I've never seen Sister Rod's son, Ms. Ryan, I've never seen him, put in any lawsuits or whatever like that, but he teaches it. I've never seen Brother Taj put in any lawsuits whatsoever. But, we hear it, being taught and told that that's the procedure, that's what we need to do. I've never seen
let me ask you this. You say y'all went to the grocery store. Did anybody, and I just asked you a second ago, does anybody in that inner circle demonstrate the right to travel? Meaning the travel card that's sold on the line.
No.
I'm talking about man, shout out to Sister Roz with much due respect.
I
just need the truth.
I just need the truth.
The Sister Roz demonstrate, she sells it. Let me tell you, right now, Taj is saying that he has nothing to do with the website. But when you turn it on, you hear his voice.
That's a lie.
You hear his voice. You hear his quotes.
Right, I'm not calling him a liar, but what he's doing and saying is not the truth, because we would sit in Sister Ross's living room and type up the information that we were adding on and putting into the website. When I got there, the website was very little known about. It wasn't really like a whole bunch of information. So all of that information, we were in trial and error, showing and proving what did work and what didn't work, and was trying to, put the theory together to see, and bringing up the case law that we would study and find on other cases it didn't even have anything to do with Moorish Americans or Moorish Science or Moorish law, but just the fact that, so some of that information comes from the Posse Comitatus movement.
Brother, let me stop right there. Brother, listen, we did a show like last year. And Cujo always get this start off. And I was showing people that some of this stuff was coming off other websites or appeared to be like it was copied and pasted. Not all of it. Just some of the stuff. Like some of the stuff matched word for word. And I was like, hold up.
Right.
They copied and pasted the European.
Right. And to their defense, some of it, yes, because it's case law, so it has already been decided, and this was excerpts from the case or whatever like that. But You know what I mean? That stuff did not come from the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, or the Canaanite Temple, you know, the Moorish Temple of Science 26. Like, none of that stuff really came from, it comes from the Posse Comitatus movement, from the Posse Comitatus Act, you know, which is like a white militia group, you know what I mean? Sovereign citizens, free man on the land, you know what I mean? Charlie Sprinkle, you know what I mean? Things of that nature. Dean Cain, like, these are different, you know, European, or what we would call white people. These are like different sovereign citizen, you know, movements and literature and videos and things that some of that stuff would, you know, come in. So we would basically like decipher through that and then look at the case law and then would do that and then see what happens. So we would try to like have writ. So whenever, let's say I make up a writ and I say, okay, well, I'm going to use this, this, and this, and this. So I'm going to make up a writ to say that basically my light company can't charge me for a light bill because I'm Aboriginal and indigenous to the land, and that we were here, you know, in 1787, and they're the Virginia Company and the Delaware Company and, you know, the East Indian Company, and basically my people own the land, and therefore they have no right to charge me, being that we were already here first, and that they're only doing business and they're trustees of the country, and Noble Drew Ali put the land in trust, and we're part of the 5 civilized tribes. So it was a bunch, it's a handful from here, a handful from there, a handful from the Native Americans, a handful from Freemasonry, a handful. So we basically group that, you know what I mean, and make a hybrid and basically put a Moorish blanket over it, you know what I mean? And we would try some of that stuff out, you know what I mean? And some would work, some would not. But basically it was still going out there, whether it would work or not. You know what I mean? And so the processes that we use to nationalize people, quote unquote. See, remember, mind you, I never had been to the Moorish Science Temple of America, and I was taught that the Moorish Science Temple of America is bad. The Moorish Science Temple of America is just a religion. It's just a church place. The Moorish Science Temple of America has been sold out. It's nothing but agents there now. Don't go there. They'll try to put you back into slavery. Yeah. You know what I mean? The prophet said.
That's actually on the website, too. That's actually on the website. I copied it yesterday. It's actually on RBB website. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? So these were the things that, you know, was talked about and was said, and, you know, in the company. And then when we would go places to teach people, I would see and hear, you know what I mean, the same thing. So that's what, you know what I mean? So don't mess with the temple. Like, they don't have nothing to do with law. They don't deal with law. They don't teach civics. They only teach religion. You know, they only teach the spiritual aspect. The prophet said it's a divine and national movement. They only teach the divine side and not the national movement. So, and I never had actually went to see for myself what actually goes on and what actually doesn't go on. So I really couldn't compare the two sides, you know, versus each other to make the determination to cross-reference and compare, you know, and contrast what was said and what was a lie. You know, what was the truth about the matter, or if it wasn't the truth, how far from the truth was it? You feel what I'm saying? So all I know is I'm not messing with you, excuse my language, with you church niggas. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to get free and y'all ain't helping. You know what I mean? Y'all are sold out. Like, y'all are, you know, Freemasons and things of that nature. You know what I mean? But Taj wore a Freemasonic ring too. So it was just a lot of confusing things that, you know what I mean? And I just knew I wasn't going to go there, because these are the people that I know. These are the people who are teaching me. These are the people whose names are on my name declaration and judicial notices. They're on all my paperwork, and they're the ones who teaching me. So I looked up to him and called him master teacher like everybody else, or like Uncle Taj, or, you know what I mean? He was just, you know what I mean? He's that dude. He's cool. He's fresh. You know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about concerning history, heritage, you know, astrology, astronomy, cosmology, geometry, geology, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of these other subjects that he's impeccable in, you know what I mean? But when it came to the application of the law, it was flawed. It was flawed.
Brother, that's what I try to tell people. My argument is not that the brother is not sharp within his field of study. My argument is that when he call it, when he keep quoting the prophet and say, Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, and the quote is wrong, and then he begin to talk about Black Law's Dictionary. I'm like, nah.
It's like this, though. It's like this. If we're cool and I'm your friend and you look up to me and everything else that I talk about, I be right about. So when I talk about this thing over here that you never really had any experience with and that you don't know, and plus you never actually been to the other side to know if I'm lying or not, you feel what I'm saying? You're going to definitely just take it hook, line, and sinker to say, well, he's been right about this, this, and this, so why would he lie about that? You know what I mean? So you take that and you just roll with it. Like, okay, the prophet said, well, he knows the prophet, right? Because he's a master teacher and he's a grand sheep. Since he's a grand sheep, you know what I mean? He would know. He wears a black fez. You know what I mean? He talks about more stuff all day long, every day of the week, and things of that nature. We would sit and build cabinets and things like that. And you know what I mean? He would be teaching and talking and and when he speaks in the room, everybody get quiet. You know what I mean? Because it's a certain vibration, you know what I mean, in his voice, and we all look up to him like that. So we're all listening, we're all concentrating for everything that could come out his mouth, you know what I mean? Because it will be a key. It's like every time he opened up his mouth, a key will fall out, or a diamond, or a jewel, you know what I mean? So we look up to him like that. And then he's got great jokes, you know what I mean? So we don't want to, question or put our beloved uncle or, brother or elder in a situation where we would look like that we're actually against him or that we're somehow challenging what he's saying, you know what I mean? Because we're around him all the time, we do this and we do this together, and you know what I mean? I'm learning from him, I'm asking him questions, I watch him all the time, I got his videos, and then now I'm going to certain lectures with him, and I'm seeing that it's actually like a following, like a crowd, and it's like, wow, man, this dude is the next thing, that's the Noble Duality since 1929. So you deal with it like that. So you don't want to shatter the illusion, because it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Like, you don't want to pull that curtain because you're kind of like mesmerized like a little kid yourself. You know what I mean? You look up to him and he's your master teacher. So you're like, okay. But I would be seeing certain things like, okay, why are we telling people not to use driver's license when they got driver's license? You know what I mean? And I would be like, yo, and then the sister Yamina would nudge me like, yo, like, they got license, you know what I mean? And I'd be like, yo, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't like, just mind your business, you know what I mean? And then when we would unload books and crates and things like that to go to Black and Nobel Theater or, the Boardwalk in Atlantic City, you know what I mean? I would be loading the van and I would see state tags, on the van. So I would be like, man, like, and she would nudge me again, like, look, state tags. And, women know. So she let me know because she was with me, you know what I mean? But I was so mesmerized and I didn't want to say that I had led her wrong, you know what I mean? Or I didn't want to, all of this other stuff be right. So why would he be lying about that? But it may be a reason why he got tags up there. So, I was like, well, maybe we're using the van for commercial purposes and, because we're making money by taking the books to the, you know what I mean? That's why. So I automatically made something up in my head, told her, look, this is the reason why, like I asked him, but I really never asked, you know what I mean? Because there is no reason, if we're telling people not to get state tags, you know what I mean? And that what we're doing is non-commercial and we got the right to travel. Why in the world would we put state tags on the van that we ride around to go tell people that state tags is bad? And then why would we teach against driver's license and then they got driver's license? You know what I mean? And birth certificates and have birth certificates and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Or why would we say go claim a house, which we were telling people claim houses and, because we were here first and, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship and the Pontifex and the Inca Terra Divina and, the letters from George Washington, Sultan Morocco and blah, blah, blah. That's the reason why they can't, own a house. The bank can't own the house. We the Moors. We are the land. Like you know what I mean? Like we would call ourselves pieces of land. And if you're a piece of land, you're a piece of property. Especially when you put a UCC on yourself, you know what I mean? That makes you property that can be traded and changed and stated. So it was a lot of things that just was not, what do you call it? When it's kind of hypocritical, it goes against, it was conflicting, you know what I mean? That why would we be teaching this and saying this stuff? And as you can notice, some of his older videos, he moves away from UCC because of these questions
UCC out the door now.
I would ask like certain, and then it would be like, it'd have to change a little bit. Like, okay, so we don't no longer UCC. Okay, cool. Because it was UCC financial statement that made you a secure party creditor, and then UCC 1-308, and then, you know what I mean, UCC 1-103 and things of that nature. So it was like thousands of things that we would have to remember. So, he starts to change it a little bit. You know what I mean? So I never questioned the fact of how did you get Grand Sheik, you know, and you're not in the Moorish Science Temple of Americas, because remember, I never heard, you know, I never seen it. And when we did talk about it, you know, it was basically bad. So I thought maybe he had took his Grand Sheik and left the temple, and, you know, we were going to do our own. But we never had a meeting place of our own besides Sister Ross' home or Sister Delilah's crib.
Brother, let me stop you right there. Brother, this is why I think all of this stuff is suspect. Prophet Overdrive organized from a civic to a religious organization.
To a religious organization.
So the ends can justify the means. Because the dual religious rights, we can really make something happen where they can't be infringed upon.
Right. But he teach against it, remember?
Say it again?
Remember, that's what we were teaching against.
Right, exactly. And he was teaching against that. And so that's why I say this seemed to be suspect to me, deeper than what we think. Because in order for a people to be liberated, the first thing they have to be is organized. And what I hear from you is no organization. It's just willy-nilly. There is no organization. So you cannot liberate anybody without organization.
Bro, look. We would go around to these different places and we would hold lectures and charge money to get in at the door, okay? But we would never delegate to say, okay, well, you're going to be the assistant Grand Sheik, you're going to be the chairman, you're going to be the treasurer. Remember, I've never been to a temple, so I don't know these things. All I know is he's a Grand Sheik and he's a master teacher with a black fez. Obviously, he knows, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we would just go around there and be teaching these things that we don't do ourselves, you know what I mean? And we would be charging them the same worthless fiat notes that we say.
That's another thing I want to, let me say I want to say three more things, and then I'm going to let the brother come in and we're going to have a conversation. Let the brother demonstrate, we have a conversation. I want to say three more things. One of the things I want to say is about the fiat. A lot of times you hear, I've been challenged that I do YouTube for fiat. I'm trying to get fiat. Like I really own a business, like a real business, like for real.
Well, everything we did at the Moorish History Heritage School and Moorish Order the Round Table, and we were creating another organization called Sisters Standing on the Law. You know, it was all fiat.
That's what I wanted to ask you. What did y'all use to enter into these meetings? If the fiat is worthless, you know, you got books, you got printing, you got buying this stuff offline. What do they do with the fiat? Do they convert it into gold, silver, and all of that? With that, because that's what they. That's what I've heard, that the fiat is worthless.
No. See, that was a whole separate body. That was the Mexican War Empire that was trying to print and mint. You know what I mean? Coins and gold and things. Like we weren't even doing that. You know what I mean? We're talking about the Moorish Order, the Round Table, Moorish History, Heritage School. You know, RV Bey. We're talking about that circles, like Sister Ross and Brother Taj. I didn't come from those other camps. I never really knew them.
No, what I'm saying is the fiat degree is the money is fake, right?
Yeah. So yeah, the money is fake.
So I don't,
because the Constitution say that legal and lawful money is gold and silver. So that, you know.
So would it make sense to try to convert this paper fake money into gold and silver? That's what I was trying to say. Was anything moving in that direction?
No, I'm gonna tell you what was moving. You know what I mean? Paperwork, ink, and printers and paper. That's what was moving. Books. You know what I mean? I give it to them. You know, sitting around for hours compiling books. You know, typing things up. Taj would speak. Sister Ross would type it up. Whoever, when her fingers crunch up, we go type some more stuff for her. You know, she go cook, and we sit there and do that all day. You know what I mean? So I give it to them on that aspect. But okay. You go to the website and you say, okay, we say download this paper, right? And as a template, put in your particulars. You know what I mean? Send it to the P.O. box. We would take it from the P.O. box and we would hand it over and basically put the seals on it. So Brother Miz or somebody, you know, put the seal on it. You know what I mean? And basically the seal will be like $35. You know what I mean? So, but then we tell you get 3 copies. You know what I mean? 1 to send out and then 2 for yourself for extra. So that's 35 right there. Then you would have to get a judicial notice, name declaration proclamation. And then we tell you get 3 copies of that. So that's 35. So that's 35 times 6 right there. Then it'd be like, okay, at this time we were getting the IDs from brother Ricky Bey in Philly at the U.S. Copy Inc. You know what I mean? And they fell out too. He went distant. He was like, nah, because people was getting hemmed up and caught up and, you know, trying to put him in the lawsuits and, you know, put the police on him and things, because he was catching a lot of heat behind what we were doing too. So, you know, we would get the printers from there, so it'd be $35 for the ID. You know what I mean? So people would want, oh, well, let me get the non-obligatory tax card, you know, and then let me get the right to travel, the international road travel card. You know what I mean? And so that would be 35 right there. So that's 35 times 6, 7, 8, 35 times
man, this
8
is
right
fleecing
there.
the people, man. This ain't, man.
I mean, but if you don't know, listen, if you don't know, you got to look at it from their perspective.
I mean, it seems like they created this out of thin air, though. I mean, it ain't no.
It's like, bro, that's because you know the other side. It's just like rape. If the person that rapes you say that they love you, and it's like, oh, this is my uncle and this is my aunt, you never know that there's anything wrong with it until you actually go outside, and then people are like, oh, that's not cool. Like, you're not supposed to be able to, like, you're like, oh, damn, well, then that means I was getting, you know, raped, and I was, you know what I mean? So you don't know, and you're glad. You're like, yo, I've been paying way worse than this to the Caucasian. So you're like, man, this is worth it. If it's going to mean my freedom, and, you know, I get to be who my ancestors is without a doubt of contradiction and all that stuff that he be teaching, you're like, man, it's worth it. Forget the bills, you know what I mean? Like, let's get free. So you're going to pay it, and you're going to do it because you're trying to get somewhere. So I understand why they did, because I've been there. You know what I mean? I went there. You know what I mean? But after a while of being around them constantly, you start seeing little things that you be like, hold on.
Let me stop right there, brother. Let me stop right there real quick, because I see a chat and I see a thing in the chat. Brothers say that, why not let Taj defend himself? Let me say this before you say something, brother.
Wow.
Hold up. No, not you.
God.
He's talking to me. And then I'm gonna let you go. Last year I had Sabir on the show because Sabir had said something about Azeem Hopkins Bey. He called us basically punks for having a press conference about the brother that shot a police, and they tried to say he was Moorish American, and brother Azeem Hopkins Bey had a press conference to let people know, like, no, he's not a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. He didn't condemn, nor did he support. He just said he's not a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Sabir went and made a comment on Facebook on his little thing, saying that we were standing out there looking like punks. So I got Sabir on the phone, and Sabir comes on the show. Sabir says, what? I didn't say that. So happened.
Sabir is that Spade's partner.
Check this out. Let me finish. So happened, I had the video already on the chopping block to show the people, because I was going to respond in video. But Allah has his way of sending the information or the people right to me. And so we got Sabir on the phone. Now, right there, this gets to my point. We talked to Sabir. I showed him what he said. His phone automatically dropped the call, and that was that.
And it went dead. Right?
So he called me back.
It's like Taj never hears his phone.
Let me say, he tried to be honorable and called me back after the show was over. Something was in his phone. He was at the gym or something like that, whatever the case may be. I said, well, okay, brother, can you get the message to Taj so we can get him on the show so we can have a fair conversation? Not a one-sided, a fair conversation. He said, okay, let me try to call him now. He gets, Taj picks up the phone on three-way and automatically it drops again. He said, I'll try to call him tomorrow. Taj, no.
Yeah, he ain't gonna answer that.
I followed back on him. We didn't get an answer. This October, I seen him live in July on Facebook. I said, brother, I'm gonna be in Philadelphia. He's from Philadelphia. I said, won't you and Taj meet us in Philadelphia at the trek that happens every year? He told me that I'm gonna be busy that day. In actuality, he didn't even know what day it was. You follow me? So the point of the matter is that Taj will not have a conversation, family. He's not going to have this sort of dialogue. So people got to stop.
Right. I would tell you how you get that conversation. See, I got the key. I'm gonna tell you how you do it. What you do is I will give you a number, you know what I mean, that you can contact. You have to you got to talk money, worthless fiat. Give them worthless fiat and they will come. They will appear. You know what I mean? Pay them for a lecture. Tell them you got about 16 people, 25, 50 people, you know, willing to pay $45, $50 a piece. You know what I mean? They'll come. They'll come. They'll park around the corner so you can't see them tags, and then they'll come. You know what I mean? Because Sabir, he's not going. He'll tell you right now on his live, I'm not talking unless I get money. You know what I mean? You want to talk to me? You want to bring me there? He called it wasting my time. You want me to waste my time? You know, give me money. He said that he'll donate money to the Nation of Islam before he'll ever give it to the Moorish Science Temple of America.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Because yeah, so I mean, he said that. I mean, man, listen. Even Sabir has gotten his distance. You know what I mean? He knows. You know what I mean? You don't see them clicked up tight like, you know what I mean? Sabir over here, Taj over here. You know what I mean? They doing it. It ain't no beef, but it's not. It's just like, you know, I kind of know the game too. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, boom. So, you know, yeah, because Sabir gets his clout from Brother Taj. You know what I mean? Sabir, you know, followed Taj for a hot minute too. So he knows. Now, I've never personally met. Go ahead.
But the thing is this. Then I'm going to bring my brother in. I want you to do two things for me, brother. Can you, on the fair side, can you tell us briefly about some wins? Because this was Brother Sharif and my brother Ishmael Bey said that they demonstrated some of this stuff and they had some wins, but they came to the same resolve that you came to. That, man, hold up, man, what's up with this?
Yeah, where y'all wins at? You know what I mean? Like, I got mine, you know what I mean? But it was more so things. It was never like, oh, a win, for real, a win is when you place a lawsuit.
Right.
And you tap that bond and you get that judgment and and you get that money, and then the mark goes on to their bond, you know, to their insurance company. So when they pay their dues every month, it's going to be higher to pay the insurance premium. So basically, the more bad marks that they get, the more they got to pay to even be a cop, and then you get them squeezed out, and then they got to move away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do something else. So that's a win. You know what I mean? When you just get your case dropped.
Was there any time that a true win like that ever happened?
No, a lot of this stuff, like, you don't even have to be Moorish American to even do. They just put it as Moorish American because it makes it popular, you know what I mean, to sell. And you think that you have to have you got to be a Moor to even do these things. Some of these things that we were doing, you know, it really, truly didn't even have nothing to do with being a Moor. It was just the fact that we were people who was born in America, and we had the right to remain silent. It wasn't because I'm a Moor, I don't have to tell. No, you just got the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You know what I mean? Or I got the Fifth Amendment right not to to be secured in my persons and papers, and the Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendment. So a lot of that stuff don't even really got nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean? But for the sake of the narrative and to be able to make these lectures and, to sell these books and things of that nature, you know what I mean? You put a little bit of Moorish in there, quote the Prophet like one time, you know what I mean?
And then he be off on the quotes though, brother. He be right, he be off. Some of that, man, I heard somebody quote the Prophet. Somebody told me, matter of fact, the brother that was on the show, he said, didn't the Prophet say that this is Al-Marak? I'm like, brother.
I understand why. You got to understand, these people are like fans. You know what I mean? They call Taj their master teacher. Never really sat with him for a week, or like they're vicarious. Like, we never actually met the Prophet. It's some elders and stuff that was around at that time and things of that nature. But like I myself, I never met the Prophet, but through his works, through his words, reading, his lessons, his lectures, his processes and procedures, his laws, I know him vicariously, meaning that I know of him through his work and his literature, but I don't actually know him. So a lot of these people that's coming at you, you know what I mean, they are vicariously in love or mesmerized with the brother Taj. They don't actually know. They never actually seen the contraries or the the mishaps and the, you know what I mean? They don't see the contradictions. Yeah, that's the word. They don't see the contradictions in what he teaches and then what actually he does in real life, or what any of them around him does in real life. Like, houses are not claimed. They're bought. You feel what I'm saying? They have a mortgage, but speak against the mortgage. Right.
Let me ask you this before I bring my brother in. What were your personal losses? And then we can get into the group losses. What was your personal loss? What did you experience?
Boom. Okay, the sister that I was with, you know what I mean, she went down. They towed her car. You know, she lost her job at the hospital. You know what I mean? I had to get the car out because I had to get the car out for so many days trying to do it the way that they wanted me to do it. You know what I mean? The money was adding up on the tow. So I couldn't, you know, I had to get it out because I wouldn't have been able to pay the rent and get the paper, the printer, and everything. Like, you can't do all of that stuff with, you know, limited income. You know what I mean? So basically, they lost the car, lost the jobs, you know, went to jail numerous times. You know what I mean? I was standing on my square exactly to the T of everything that Brother Taj was teaching and telling, and things that I was teaching and telling people in the presence of Brother Taj, and went down. And not once did I ever get help. The best thing that Brother Taj and Sister Ross had done one time when I got locked up was they sent me a printer. You know what I mean? An ink printer. So basically telling me, like, yo, you're going to need to put some paperwork in, you know, stay in your square, study. That's the famous thing. Just study, stay in your square. Well, I've been studying, and you see me staying in my square. So where y'all at? Where's all that power, jurisdiction, and authority that you got with the Moors and, you know, Noble Drew Ali and the trust, and this being the land and we being the pyramid, them being the eagle? Like, how come if they know who the Moors are, if they know this, like, how come it's this game? Like, how come you can't come get me? You know what I mean? Because he's never doing it. Like, it doesn't happen to him. So I've seen me go down. I went to the mental institution behind it, had to work myself out of there. You know what I mean? I had to, you know, Brother Lamont, you know, we were in the dark because we was discharging the debt. It worked for like 2 months, and then they cut it off anyway, sent us the bill and things of that nature. Couldn't get no help from them, so basically we had to sit up in the dark, burn candles. Luckily, we were staying in Florida, so we could go outside and pick oranges from the tree. So I had stepchildren who were not even really biologically my children, but I had them in another state following a man who wouldn't even answer his phone when you get in trouble. I had them in the dark. The food went bad, you know what I'm saying? We just had to eat oranges. But I held on to the belief because that's Brother Taj's master teacher. Look at all these other people that follow him. You know what I mean? So they got to believe in him, so we got to believe in him too. Okay, Brother Ejaz, he went down. You know what I mean? Brother Lamont, Butler Hill, and Maryland, he's still in prison. You know what I mean? Sister Valhara Bey, that everybody like to go and share her video on YouTube talking about the Moorish law, Black's law. You know what I mean? The capitals and lowercase letters. The dark skinned, beautiful sister with the long hair and the white, you know, robe, the white coat. She went down. You know what I mean? We didn't even hear from her anymore. And I would be asking Sister Raj's son, like, yo, what happened to Sister Valhara? He'd be like, yo, he would scratch his head and be like, yo, I don't want to say, you know what I mean, to ask Brother Taj about that. So, you know what I mean? I was just like, dang, like, you know what I mean? Like, she went down. Who else went down? And Brother Nature lost his car. He ended up getting it back with them worthless fiat notes. And, you know, they tried to put it into a higher court. It got dropped. The police ended up dropping the case, so nothing happened. So it wasn't like he got any win off of it. You know what I mean? So it's the best that'll happen is the case will get dropped. You know what I mean? But you done spent money, you done bailed out, you done spent all the money on paperwork, so they still getting out of you. You know what I mean? The sister Abkara Bey, she got locked. She's still in prison. You know what I mean? Like Sister Abkara Bey, she's still in prison. It was threatening taking her kids. God bless her family, because I mean, them people, I know that's why they like, yo, I hate you Muslim niggas, like, you know what I mean? Because of the things that she was saying and standing on Brother Taj's, you know what I mean, information, and the information off the RV Bay website, like we all were. She was not getting any support and any help. You know, they drafted up a nice little, you know, letter and things of that nature on the website. I remember when they placed it up there, but after that, that was it. You know what I mean? So why are we sitting up here spending $200, sending this paperwork here, and then spending another $200, sending it to the president, to the Secretary of State, the Vice President, Morocco, you know what I mean, the Moroccan Embassy, you know what I mean, the Hague, the Netherlands Conventions, the UN, Interpol, all this stuff like that. And nothing is getting done. We got these fancy seals, you know what I'm saying? We're not doing nothing but placing ourselves on the national terror list as paper terrorists, domestic terrorists, sovereign citizen, domestic terrorism, and national black.
But that's why I truly think this stuff is suspect, man. This stuff is suspect, man, because there is no resolve in it. There is no resolution. No
organization. Like, where do we go? How long? You've been in business since 1982 teaching this stuff. And we're taught to ask the temple, ask the sheiks, where is our money going? We never put any money into the temple to ask where our money is going, but we put money into you. And since 1982, you know what I mean? And when I came along, you know what I'm saying? So you've been teaching since 1982. You talking about what the temple ain't did in their 100-something years. What have you did since 82? Where's our money going?
So, brother, we're gonna turn this into a discussion. I got another brother on the panel, a tomb brother.
We won't ask him. We won't ask. They will never ask Taj where their money is going. Brother. But instead, they'll ask the temple where the money that they never put into the temple is going.
Indeed.
That's flawed.
Indeed, brother. Stand by for a second. I want to let my other brother on the panel speak. And then we're gonna have a dialogue. Stand by, let him reintroduce himself. Right. I don't know what he's gonna say, brother.
Do he actually know Taj, or is he just another?
I don't know, but we just gonna have a conversation. I don't know. It could be with or against. I don't know. We're gonna see in a minute. Let's go, my brother. Atum, are you there?
Yes. Islam Family. Atum is actually the name of our organization, but my appellation is DJ Bey. And like I said earlier, I domicile in Detroit, Michigan. And I myself, I do not know Taj, but I do not know him personally, but I do know his teachings. I am very diverse in a lot of the things that he gives to the people as well, as far as like commercial code, statutes, constitution, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. So when I seen Taj's information and the other sister that he was speaking about, the one in the white coat, I seen all of that. I got my temple nationality card somewhere around me. I done been to temple, everything. I went to temple when I came age of majority, like around 20 years old. So I know what it's like in the temple, and I can actually tell the difference between the information that Taj gives versus what's being given in the temple. And I also see certain gaps that should be filled in. But you are right, and I'm kind of torn. I'm because I'm listening to the brother's story. I'm like, that's messed up, yo, because they do have a large following. And even myself, I have been on RB Bey because a lot of people look at it as an information source for us or some form of library. But even how you said, it's not a school. There is no accreditation, but it's information for you to go so you can, like move forward and kind of know a little bit about your history. But anyone I come in contact with, I always tell them you should at least go to a temple once. That way you can see what it's like for yourself. And regardless of what anyone says about the religion and all of that, you should always go yourself.
Respect to that, brother. All temples ain't the same. Because if you come to my temple 9 times out of 10, you probably won't leave. All temples ain't the same, brother. It is what it is.
I get that, and I went to Temple 25 in Detroit. I love the temple, and it's like I love them brothers there. They do a great job. But even in that aspect, there's certain things that I myself, being a youth, because I'm in my mid-20s, me being a youth, I understand the commercial system very well, how to move forward. I do pretty well for myself. Like I own 3 cars and I own 2 houses because I understand how things work, and I didn't do no adverse possession. I own my cribs. And it's like, and they in my Bay appellation, so I own them right. So it's just knowing that these people aren't being outright with a lot of the information that they're getting, and then they out here traveling. And I took some notes.
Well, let me say this, brother.
So did he buy his house or did he claim it?
No, I bought my house.
So, brother, listen. So the point that I'm making is, what you're saying is this. You're actually agreeing with what I'm saying.
Yeah, because it's like
what you're doing is not Moorish science. You just have some information that enables you to come up. So why don't you bring that to the temple?
now in my situation, I'm a little bit younger, so it won't be as accepted from the youth because we all know elders don't accept it the same way as you do from the youth because you be like you young, you don't know how it go. But it's like
See, this is what stagnates the temple. First of all, the youth don't want to rank and file and then work their way up. Because on the side, you can still do that and be a member of a temple. You can still teach people how to come up. I mean, there's a come up. Like how to start a business. Well, if I went to the temple, they wouldn't even support me in trying to teach people in the temple. Nah, you can do it on the side because the prophet created the temple.
but the prophet also had a financial plan that's not being expressed in.
Hold up, brother, on the phone. What you say, my brother? Say it again.
No, I said the prophet also had a financial plan that is not being openly expressed in temples this day.
So that's the thing, brother. It's up to you.
Wait, let me ask him.
It's up to you, though. I mean, hold up, brother. I'm gonna let you chime in 1 second on the phone. 1 second, brother. That's the problem with the temple. People leave the temple instead of adding their spices, their expertise to the temple. You know what I mean? And that's why
I get it. I get it.
Wayside. We have allowed the elders. The prophet said we're gonna come in and push the old ones to the back. But instead of doing that, we leave and let the old ones do the old stuff. And the temple goes nowhere.
We being the message that we bring. We're coming in being the change that we would like to see done, and we're trying to help it, with our time, our energy, and our finance to make it happen as fast as we wanted to make it happen. But what I was taught is, ask the temple this, ask the temple that. Where's my hospital? Where's my well, it's going to take finance to uplift this nation. So how much money are you giving to make that business plan happen? And we're not giving any, but we don't want to help, but we want to charge the temple with not being fast enough with building what we need done for ourselves.
Hey, with all due respect on the phone, I want my brother to get a chance to chime in until he exhausted, because we've been going off over an hour. I want him to get a chance to chime in, but I would be remiss if I say this, brother. As we say, we are the temple. We have to bring our interpretation according to the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali with our being in the temple. And from that, we can transform the temple to a productive organization as the prophet laid. That's all I'm saying. But what you're saying, it actually agrees with me. Everything you said is not Moorish science according to the doctrine of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, but it's Moorish science according to the come up, the evolution of bringing us from the bottom to the top. So when I speak about Taj don't teach more science according to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I'm literally talking about the doctrines of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. When he quote Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he's 99% times he's wrong. The quote, you cannot find the quote nowhere. When he starts talking about trust and Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and he says Prophet Noble Drew Ali is fighting for our trust, he's wrong, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali doesn't teach that. But now I'm saying that doesn't mean we should not fight for the trust. That doesn't mean that the trust doesn't exist. But don't say Prophet Noble Drew Ali told us to fight for trust, because he did not say that. Don't say this is Al-Marak and Prophet Noble Drew Ali said it. He did not say that. You see, won't you just teach it, and hopefully people will subscribe to it, and then we can move on it. But don't lie on Prophet Noble Drew Ali and then sell right to travel cards, sell all of this name change and all that. And let me say one more thing, and then I'm gonna let my brother go. For instance, when on the website RV Bey, when he talk about free national name, he talking about changing your real name when that is not even a free national name. RV Bey, they got it totally wrong. When they talk about changing your free national name, they talking about like my name Tahaga Bey. You know what I mean? Oh, my name is T. Johnson Bey. That is that's not a good name. You need a free national name. Now I change my name to Taj Amin El Bey. Now that's your free national name. That's not a free national name according to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And it's on the website. So it's misleading. It's not the prophet teachings. But brother on the phone, let my brother flow a little bit because we have been talking for a minute and I just want to see where my brother coming from. I might have to hold myself back, but I gotta do, with all due respect, let my brother go in. Come on, my brother.
Oh no, brother, it's all peace. No need. But just to chime in on the topic, the last thing that you were speaking on, the names, the free national name, as far as my knowledge go in my studies, there are 3 different types of names that we deal with on a daily basis. One would be the said Negligence or straw man, and then there's the free national name, us as Moors, how we will partake in our LR Bey or Ali, depending on your personal situation. And then people have a spiritual name. Like my spiritual name is Jota Fafayangi, but that's because I partake in certain things. But I don't put that on no documentation. You should know the difference between all 3 and how you deal. And they should also make that very clear on the website, the difference between that. Because people don't know. And I also understand that people try to get contact with them. They can't get answers. And that's not necessarily cool if you run in some type of information that you're in for our people, because we are supposed to be for the upliftment of all humanity. So you especially need to answer the phone for your people or get back to them in a timely manner. But as far as I wanted to speak on the temple aspect as well. The temple is very necessary. I'm so for the temple.
I'd be remiss if I say this. I want you to inbox me, and I'm going to give you my understanding of the free national name. And you're right. They haven't that according to, and I'm going to use Prophet Noble Drew Ali's works to show you exactly what the free national name is. Because what you said.
Hey, let the brother speak, but tell him to speak up because he's kind of real muffled. You know what I mean?
I got you. I'm gonna put the speaker there. But let me let you finish, but we're gonna talk about that off camera. But come on, brother. The floor is yours. I ain't cutting you off no more. Let's go.
You are good, bro. But as far as temple is very necessary because that's the only form of, well, it's not being ran the proper way because it should be ran as an embassy. We have court systems that arose that we can't even utilize now because of lack of use from the 50s. So we are in a position that where we actually need to be held accountable, and such as Taj needs to be held accountable for his students and their application, because if you're going to be putting information out here, you need to answer the phone, and you also need to make sure that you're not the reason for people getting incarcerated. Because I've also heard stories about individuals going to prison or jail for adverse possession. You can't put parts of information out there and tell people like this is how you go get a house when they broke. Impoverished people do crazy things. So if you don't have anything, you gonna do what you got to do in order to get. And then some of our people end up in piss poor situations. And the teachers have to be accountable if they put that information out there. They just do. And I'm a teacher myself. I teach some of this information along the same lines as Taj, but I make sure that I'm accountable for my information, though.
Indeed.
And as far as the tag things, I have tags on my vehicles. I have 3 vehicles, but my vehicles are not in my Negligence. They're actually in my trust. So they run my tags that come back in my trust. There's a difference because I'm not telling nobody to do no crazy stuff. That's the reason why my tag's in my trust and I still got tags and I don't get stopped.
Right. But my brother, what I'm saying is that's not necessarily Moorish Science according to the doctrine.
It is, and you can quote me on that. That is not more science. But all I'm saying is that is not part of any. I got my 101s, I got my Moorish literature, I got my Circle 7, I got all my books. And it's not part of any of that. You are completely right. And in that time frame, when a lot of this information was being given to our people, it was given in a religious sense because our people were very religious, and that's the way the prophet met us at that time, because he was very, very smart, and he came from, if he was an Egypt Adab student. So, and there's also books like Peter Moon. He wrote about how the prophet could move things with his mind. So there's stories about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and a lot of the great works, and for you to believe that we should be stagnant in some of the information that is given to us, like how it is given to us in the temple, I believe that we are falling behind because we have to grow as time grows. Because the same way our currency changed, we have Bitcoin, cryptocurrency now. We have to evolve. Well, not evolve. That's the etymology of that word is bad, but we have to grow as a people. and we have to advance. So we have to really pick out the bad things that are happening, remove people from the temples, and we also have to make sure that people are learning how to put themselves in the proper commercial situation. You got to learn how to make a business, because it take finance to uplift the nation. If you don't have finances, how you gonna pay the temple? But if you don't know how to allocate your funds, you're never gonna be in a proper situation. So proper commercial education, financial education is mandatory, and it should be happening in the temples right now.
Let me say this. Suppose everybody, some people is just not interested in that. Some people just want to go to the temple. They want to learn how to better themselves. And they say, you know what? I'm good. I got me a job. I got me a few dollars. I just want to better myself. I want to learn the things to make me better. And I'm good with that. We can't condemn them and try to force that upon them to try to go and get this college type education.
No, it's not college. This is basic economics. It's just like you should know about supply and demand and stuff, so you can know how your money go.
Everybody may not be interested in that, brother. That's just the real world.
I get that.
I have a business. I've been having a business for over 10 years successfully. You know what I mean? Successfully. Everything is good to go for me, but I'm just saying, I've met some people that just, my father used to say this to me. I used to say, man, come on, man, you got to get yourself right, man. Man, listen, man, we can turn this into a business. He said, let me tell you something. And he used to cuss me out. He said, you dumb mother. Everybody ain't trying to be a boss. Some people just want to live regular. That's what he said to me. And regular to him is regular to him. So the thing is, in the temple, there should be
the regular part already.
There should be an option for that.
Yes.
But we can't say that this should be taught in the temple. No, some temples are going to fit the personality of a group. Some going to fit the personality of another group. My temple is a temple that's progressive. That of course I will want you there teaching that class. Of course I want some arts and sciences there. Of course I want some political people right there. Of course, but you can't expect that from every temple. Some temples are going to be some brothers that just got out of prison and they want to do it like they did in prison.
Yeah, we got a lot of that going around, and I have nothing against any of them. I myself, I never had to do a bit. A lot of my family have, and then it's also unfortunate that people, I've had sisters walk up to me and they see me write my appellation down. They see Bay at the end. They be like, where you been? I'd be like, nowhere, because I already know what they asking. They think I done did a bid just because I carry that title. That's the image that we need to change for sure.
Yeah, but the only way we're going to change it, brother, we have to stop allowing. I look at the video that Taj did the other night, and he made enough references in the video. The live stream was almost three and a half hours, but he made enough references to condemn the temple that I just had to just go through the first 20 minutes, and I got 5 clips that I was going to use today. Where he says the temple is ran by like a church. That was one. Then another one, he said these are Masons. They're not going to tell y'all anything in the temple. Number 2.
I know that ain't true for sure. I know my grand sheik, he don't like Masons. For real. He done came out and said some things about the Knights Templar.
But what I'm saying is Taj to put these things out, but then he said you should go to the temple. Like, how are you going to say 2 different things in the same conversation? You know what I'm saying? So this is the point I'm making, is that he can't be teaching Moorish science, because we know what Prophet Noble Drew Ali took. And of course we can build it upon it with other sources of if you will, other sources of intellect, if you will. You know what I mean? Like for instance, what you bring, you can build on it with that. I mean, somebody else might bring something else from somebody else, and that's how it grows into what we need it to be. But when everybody runs from the temple and say nobody is going to accept, it'll never get back to what the prophet created. Never. It would never get back there. But I tell you what, I got a group with me, and we're going to build it from the ground up. With that being said, I'm going to let my brother on the phone come back in, so y'all might want to have a dialogue real quick. I want y'all to support. I just put in the brother, I got you in 1 second on the phone. I just put in the link to the Moorish Village. Family, the Moorish Village is a project that I'm working on now in Baltimore. And it's a project where Moors have decided that we're going to try to live together. And matter of fact, we're not going to try. We're going to live together. We're going to build our own community. We're going to create our own economics. We're going to create a microcosmic nation, starting one street, one block at a time. I found a block. I found a block, and this block is all but ready to move in. It's a block full of houses that are boarded up, but it doesn't take a whole bunch of work to bring them back into livable conditions. I do the work. I've done home improvement for the last 10 years. I have a small property management company. I've been doing for the last 7 years. You know, so what I do on my personal time, if you will, I help investors to find inexpensive homes in Baltimore, whether they're in Baltimore or outside of Baltimore, find inexpensive homes, and they buy the homes, and then I fix them up, and I try to guarantee them that they won't pay over $10,000 to fix them up. I try to make that guarantee. So initially I go in, I check them out, and I was like, yeah, we can do this for under $10,000. Now remember this, you got plumbing, you got heating, you got electrical. You know, those are expensive things. To put a house together that has been condemned with those are very expensive things. However, I know Moorish Americans. Moorish Americans, Brother Woodsdale out of Temple 11. He's going to donate his electrical company to help assist in putting this work together. I got the Grand Governor of our grand body, George Turner L. He also have a home improvement property management company called Wall to Wall. He's going to donate his time. I'm going to donate my time. If a person can purchase the house within the village and we're able to get the donation for the supplies, we have more than enough people. And I've just named 3 people, but I have more than enough people. I can't forget my brother in Philadelphia on Facebook. His name is Afterburner. He does the same sort of work. I can't forget my brother Kearney Bey in Philadelphia. He does that. He's willing to assist anyway. Any type of way, financial, what do you need me to do? You know, I got my brother, I mean, I can name on and on. Everybody is ready to rock with it. The thing is, if people are going to move together, some people don't have the finances to put to get the supplies. You know, so if we get a house for $5,000 and we need $5,000 worth of supplies and the labor is free, we said if you're a Moorish American, whether you want to move there or not, you should maybe donate $5, $10, $20 to the cause, because you don't have to like me. But think about this. In 3 years from now, we want to at least have a school there. And we're not talking about an Umar Johnson $1 million school. We're talking about start at the grassroots. We're talking about starting something small. The Moors had a little schoolhouse. Can we start with a little schoolhouse? Of course we can, but it's going to take all of us to work this thing together. So with that, let me say, I'll put the link in the chat and I'm going to put it in there again. Hit the link and you'll go to the GoFundMe for the Moorish Village. Also, I want my brother to engage my brother on the phone and see if we can come up with some conversation. It's 9:57. We're going to go for 30 more minutes and let's have a conversation. My brother, are you there? Islam. Any response to what my brother, I've called, he said that's his company name, but that's what it said on the page. I told you I don't know the brother, but I love the brother. I love his candidness, and I love his honesty. So let's go, brother. You have any conversation for the brother?
No, I mean, what I'm about to say is just pretty much general. Let me step out because I don't want to disturb where I'm at. Hold on.
I just wish it wasn't so disheartening to find out that people who helped you come up to the position that you in as far as knowledge-wise are not living that life. Because I live that life. It's unfortunate. But like I say, I'm smart about it. Because I don't make myself a target. And I don't teach nobody to do that either.
Yeah, hey, brother, I think what you're not only smart about it, you're responsible. You know what I mean? Like you're not willy-nilly saying that, okay, I hear you saying that I respect Taj, but I ain't gonna be a fool for Taj. Those are 2 different things.
You gotta learn for yourself, man, because it was like I'm not hoodwinked. It was like I can see the light, so I know which way to walk.
So my brother on the phone, you ready?
Yeah. I'm grabbing something because I want to make this real clear when I say this.
Okay.
Go ahead, though.
Okay. So, family, what I would like to do is I would like to try to, while he's grabbing that, if I can, I want to grab something real quick and just show y'all exactly what I'm referring to about this Moorish village while he's looking for that. We got a little bit of time. All is well.
I'm ready now.
Oh, he ready now? Let's go, brother.
Yeah. I ask questions, you know what I mean, and they provoke thought. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't actually just sit up there and say, oh, you know, I was part of a temple. No, I stayed in that temple. You know what I mean? I put in dues in that temple, and I get entitled the name faithful in that temple.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's a difference. You know what I mean? Because a member's interest can only be in one place. You know what I'm saying? So you can be like, oh, I got 3. A dude told me today he got like 5 nationality cards. Okay, you got 5 nationality cards, and you only been conscious of Moorish Science for 3 years. You know what I mean? So which one were you actually going to stay and be consistent in to actually get that spiritual fortitude to unlock what you're trying to find out or what you want to know? You're not going to get the secrets like that because you jump in here, you're inconsistent. You still in the cares of the world. Get on that solid rock of salvation where man must perfect, the man must, you know, build himself. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we a lot of the times when the elders, you know, we bring these situations in, you know, and these great ideas, they have to let us know, like, you have to come into this the same path that everyone else has walked. You know what I mean? Like, we all got great ideas. We all trying to unfold. But you can't say, look, I got this cart. You know what I mean? Give me the horse. You got to come in, you know what I mean, and get the horse and then hook your cart up to it and take your Islam and go be successful. You feel what I'm saying? It's not that they don't want to hear these opportunities or they don't want to hear these ideas, but you need the qualifications of leadership to get it how you're supposed to get it. You need your certificates. You need the divine ministry. You know what I'm saying? You need to conform yourself to the prophet's laws with knowing your divine constitution, bylaws, your additional laws, your one-on-one, and your circle 7 or your Quran. You feel what I'm saying?
I don't think people understand how important that is.
They don't understand because they haven't been on both sides and stayed. We were taught that religion is bad, but religion is really law. You see what I'm saying? And it says that this nationality and identification card, it's your nationality and your ID card for the Moorish Science Temple of America and birthrights of Moorish Americans. You see what I'm saying? So it says that the blessings, may the blessings of our God, our Father Allah, be upon you that carry this card. And I hereby declare that you are a Muslim under the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca. Lord, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I'm a citizen of the USA. You feel what I'm saying? So all that status, nationality, and jurisdiction that Taj was talking about is right there. You know what I'm saying? The nationality is Moorish American, not free Moor, not Moor American, not Al Moroccan, not, you know, Empire Watch, all of these things, and Moorish Gansus and Mexican Moor Empire. The prophet, the founder, the person who brought that information said it was Moorish American.
That's what blows me away, brother. The prophet said one thing, and people fall hook, line, and sinker with the flip side. I don't get that. If the prophet Noble Ali says your nationality is Moorish American, how can you fall for somebody telling you that you are more American and say you follow prophet Noble Ali? And then they'll tell you that, well, the prophet said he couldn't tell you everything. Like what?
But when you get into the language, and I'm play devil's advocate because like somebody got to, because when you get in the language, ish as it means as in pertaining to, as in Jewish. These aren't the real Jews, they are Jewish. So
why don't we get into the science of why the prophet Noble Ali uses that instead of trying to discredit the prophet of God?
I didn't discredit it. But I know why, because nationality is also transferable, and then also how it came about that time. It would either be through bloodline or through the nation.
So what I'm saying again, if the prophet of God, we said that he's a prophet of God, right? If he said we Moorish American, why don't people try to understand what was his rationale of doing it that way instead of trying to outsmart the prophet?
Harker, here it go, brother. That's on the line.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. What's good, bro?
You hear that nationality is conferred through the mother only. Why do I hear more saying that? The
That didn't come from me. I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Say no more. You know what I'm saying? I understand. You know what I mean? I understand. You know, what is your religion?
I mean, if we follow the Prophet over Ali, either we do or we don't.
Your religion. You know your religion. What's your religion?
That's
you speaking to me?
Oh, mine Islamism.
Yes.
You already know.
I'm about Islamism. It said it in 101. I didn't know you was talking to.
Okay. You know what I mean? So we all are on the same platform. Now, the thing is, a lot of people don't know that the temple is a trust. The temple is a state.
That's right.
What kind of state? A theocratic state.
That's under 805 Hers conventions. And that's also, through my knowledge, that's also the reason, under the 805 Hers conventions, the way that the Prophet established the temple, he set it up to where it had its own constitution. Don't we have our own divine constitution?
Right.
Every state has their own constitution. I teach this. Every state has their own constitution, right? So we can be considered a state, how he just said. And we have our own constitution, which we must abide by.
Hey, brother, let me tell you what happened, though, brother. A lot of the history of the Moorish Science Temple of America has been covered up and hidden for over 80 years. Of course, the Prophet Noble Ali knew what he was doing. That's why I say when people try to discredit the Prophet, they, instead of try to confirm themselves, as the Prophet say, confirm themselves through the questionnaire, the teacher must confirm themselves through the questionnaire. Instead of trying to confirm the Prophet and look and ask for it to be revealed, we try to discredit the Prophet. I give you a point that people don't even know about. When we call it a theocracy or the temple supposed to be a government and you said an embassy, brother, you're absolutely right. It's supposed to be that and even more. Back in the time of the Prophet, there was the Supreme Grand Council and the Grand Body that act in conjunction with one another to make laws and implement laws and enforce laws. You see what I'm saying? It acted like
we need that back.
It acted like the Senate and the Congress. You know what I'm saying? And the Grand Sheik of the temple, you know, he was the head of that state. He was the governor of that state. This is why the Prophet made people governor. And it's still there. This is why the prophet gave people titles like governor, because it is a theocracy and a government, but it also the temple of Almighty God Allah. So we need to bring it back. And so that's what Taj Tariq Bey is doing with the virtual Moorish Science Temple of America. I'm saying, join me. Let me give it to you how the prophet set it up, and let's see if we can endeavor to set it up again. But the framework is already there. The framework is already there.
Here's my thing with that. You know what I mean? We're taught that, you feel me, the temple has been sold out. Okay, now the agents who have sold it out are now outside of the temple, making sure that people don't go back in. You see what I'm saying?
Are they still in the temple? Because how are we supposed to know?
Now look, I got a haggle in here.
The people who have sold. Go ahead.
I got a haggle in the chat, Super Deep Zone. He always comment, and if he comment with some smart intellectual stuff, I'll keep his comment. But if he do ignorant comments, then I'm gonna actually block him and delete him. He says status correction $9.99 Thanksgiving special, brother. If you just tuning in, we are clarifying that is not Moorish science. See, you brothers need to catch up. You have to catch up. We're saying that what the brother Taj Tariq has taught, and those who ever sell status correction and all of that, it's not. I'm saying it's not legitimate. I don't know what the other brother's saying on this line. It's not legitimately Moorish science.
It's not. It has. I have studied the Uniform Commercial Code. I even teach people how to use it to apply certain aspects for their benefit commercially, and it is not Moorish science. Is nothing but legalese, and the system is copywritten by European people. I just teach people how to pimp the system. It was like I can say I'm real enough to keep it real with you. You know, it was like I don't have to lie to nobody.
Let me ask you a question. Do you teach uniform commercial codes under your fez?
No, I do not, because I am not a fool.
Brother, you got inbox me, brother. We got inbox me because this is what we need.
The prophet used. You know what I mean? The prophet used our authority On the back of your 101, everybody that proclaims their nationality at a properly chartered Moorish Science Temple of America get the Koran, and then they get the 101s on the back. That is that document. He used citizenship. I am a citizen of the USA,
Yeah.
the United States of America. You know what I mean? He used 1010-5905, Form 1099. You know what I mean? He used Hers Revised Statutes, the First Amendment, copybook 521, page 579, registration TX form.
Hey, brother.
So
can you expound upon this? If the prophets say we are citizens, Taj says he used an Article 12 of something. I can't call it off my head. He said we could never be citizens.
No, well, I can clear that up right there. That's based on the Dred Scott case. The reason why you can't be a citizen is because if you are a descendant of a slave or African American, you technically wouldn't be a citizen because you would be picked up as chattel property. So now, if you're a Moor, or if you are technically considered a white person, you can be a citizen. Noble Drew Ali had proper status.
Let me say this: pardon himself. Did Noble Drew Ali teach that we are white people?
No.
No, but the term Moor, it legally classifies you with a white status.
Well, let me
First of all, wait.
I said legally. Legally.
Wait, okay. I'm speaking legalese. What is your nationality?
My nationality is Moorish American.
Okay, so are you a Moor according to the color code, or are you a Moorish American according to nationality and the Prophet Noble Drew Ali?
If you want to be technical with words, then it would be I will be pertaining to a
law specific
of white status.
Law specific.
Because
so which one is your nationality Moor or is it Moorish American?
My nationality is Moorish American on documentation, but if I'm doing things now, hold on, wait, because I'm gonna keep it real. Now, if I'm doing something, and I will put the proper on there for not where there is no confusion.
Brother, let him finish real quick. So you say if you're doing something, then what? What are you then?
As far as documentation, that way there is no confusion. If I'm corresponding contractually, I will make it very clear as to what my status is.
And what is your status?
Moorish American, but I also get a little bit more in depth.
So
hold on.
You got nationality, but you play the color game.
No, I don't play the color game. They play. Listen, it was like if you no, bro, you in a system. You deal in a system. I'm probably the most tangible individual you will probably ever come across. I'm gonna be realistic about all this shit. You got contracts to buy a house. I own my house. I had to sign contracts to get my house. I had to sign contracts to get my cars. I own 3. It was like you have to do commercial activity. The color game is not something that you actually have a choice to play. It's being played upon you. So therefore, all you can do is manipulate the system so you can win.
From on the phone, I kind of get what he's saying. He said that to his understanding. Remember, it said the understandings of the treasures of Allah. He put each man will push seem good unto himself. And so where he has come to the crossroad that the method and what he used works for him. You know what I'm saying? He's not saying it's Moorish Science. He's just saying it's work for him. I think that's what he's saying. You know, he's saying when he goes
the business that we do, the business that I have seen done, you know what I'm saying, the Moorish Science Temple of America that I have been members of, you know what I mean, a card carrying dues paying member, we never use the color game. We can still engage in commerce.
Oh, no. You misunderstand. I didn't say in my documentation I put I'm a white man. No, I know what the status means in law, and I make that plain, stating that I have a proper status versus that of a said black man.
Right.
So I have to make that plain.
Do the color status apply to you, whether it be black, white, red, yellow?
But under assumption, they will assume that you are black or African American. Therefore, you have to put it on notice that you are not.
Rebutted. Assumptions can be rebutted with proper presentation of documents. You see what I'm saying?
That's the reason why I say I present my stuff the way I do.
No,
right,
so check this out.
Because we don't claim black or white. We claim Moorish American Muslim.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Fact. I mean, I think when we come together and we get our unity right, and we claim, just as you said, Moorish American, all 10,000 to 20,000 to 30,000, we can really make something happen. But this is what I wanted to.
Hey, bro. Another thing, we have not even addressed these temples that are Moorish Science Temple of America. That's 501c3.
Are we gonna get them? They'll be addressed. They'll be addressed. But that's another show. Check this out. I got on the screen right now, where Taj, this come off of RV Bey, and he said Article 12 clearly affirms if you are descendants of African, you cannot be a citizen of any union U.S.A.
That's Dred Scott case.
And I've heard him do lectures on this, but the prophet says you are a citizen of U.S.A. So,
but we aren't descendants of slaves, though. That's the difference.
Let me finish though. So why don't we try to learn why the prophet said that? Let's disregard what we've been told and say, why would the prophet say that? And you're only going to get that from a qualified, knowledgeable sheik in the temple. Most likely, he's going to have to be one that has been to third heaven. Most likely.
Man, corporations are citizens, period.
You know,
so the Moorish Science Temple of America is a citizen of the USA. And through that, giving power of attorney to that Moorish Science Temple of America, which is a citizen, therefore you are protected and you are granted your immunities and your rights. Through being part of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Listen, I don't really want to argue that point. The point that I want to say, if the prophet say, if the prophets say that you are a citizen, and that's not for you, brother, on the phone. If the prophets say you are a citizen, on your nationality card, it says, I am a citizen of the U.S.A. And then Taj turns around and says, you clearly can't be a citizen. Look what I have here. Who do we go with, Taj or the prophet of God?
Somebody's lying.
You go with the prophet all day. But I have a question about some of the words, because I know things get lost in translation. And I know also English is a very bastardized language. And we also have to think about the time frame of the author when he was presenting this information and how things changed. So
we're not the prophet of God now. We're not talking
No. I'm not talking about him. I'm saying how things get changed, because at certain times in the temple is aspects when people are speaking on behalf of the prophet. You've seen some of the literature. So it's more so, it's like when we speak on, what's the best way to say it? The prophet, and how some things were said, like how the prophet himself, I seen where his documentation was, his name was in all caps and then he had it in lowercase. So he clearly knew the difference between the public and private relation. But this isn't things that's being expressed. And I get why, because it's not directly in the literature. It's not directly in the literature, but also it was like for the part and parcel or part and partial.
Brother,
which one?
Brother, be careful, right? Because some of those signatures is not the prophet's signatures.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why things got changed. So that's why I go back to the part and partial, or is it part and parcel? Because it really matters when you get in the language. Which one is it?
Brother, my thing is, with that, you got to look
are you a piece of land, or are you a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America? Are you a piece of land, or are you a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America?
No. I'm asking for the definition of part and parcel versus part and partial, because there's a difference.
Parcel is an item, a piece of property.
Right.
Okay, but the other one is partial. So I'm just asking for clarity.
Partial is meaning you are a part of something.
Right.
Or you sprang from something, meaning you come from something.
Okay. But where in language have you ever seen the term part and partial? TIAL instead of parcel. I'm saying that's the only place, and I understand sometimes people make typos.
My thing is this. I'm going to do this. When we look at the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, regardless of the terminology per se, parcel.
But that's very important right there.
Parcel or partial, right? Shouldn't that be something that should be dialogue? This is why the Grand Council was created, that the Grand Council would be like the jurists. When the Grand Council, they thought it was disbanded, and the infiltration with Taj talk about, and the Grand Council seemed to have disbanded, that's where our main problem is. So today, there is bodies with Supreme Grand Councils, and those are the jurists. But now check this out. When the jurists say that, man, we're going with this because this makes sense, is everybody going to move on it? Or is everybody going to go willy-nilly and run their own way? See, to me,
you have no choice. It came to a vote.
That's what I'm saying. My thing is this. We have so many bigger problems. Like, this is one of the major problems, that people on the highways and the byways that discover Taj Tariq, that they qualifies that as Moorish Science, and it's not even close. That's a major problem.
And then people who can't tell the difference.
So partial and parcel, we can get to that. We can get to that.
Listen what I'm saying, bro. The problem is you got people that have, and they told me this, like, man, I can't tell the difference on who more and who not, because I just see two people in feds arguing over part and parcel or part and partial.
That's something smart. I think we should leave that one alone.
With it. I don't even, you know what I mean? So they don't even want to deal with it because they don't even know the difference. You feel what I'm saying? So it's all about who get the who first. So if these people are telling everything and teaching whatever they want to teach from wherever they want to teach it, and they have on the feds and they're quoting Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and they're calling themselves Moors, and what they're teaching is Moorish Science, they're naturally just going to go with that first because that's where they first heard something that just wowed them out. You know what I mean? So they're going to be like, oh, I'm with this, you know, and that's the thing. Like, so you got Moors that are really doing the work, that are really out here, you know what I'm saying, demonstrating the law. They're not all over Facebook and YouTube and,
right,
you know, gathering people and getting money and all that. Like, they're doing the work. They're really out here doing it, being messengers, you know what I mean?
And my
they're being the message that they bring. So they don't have time to be up there, you know what I mean, pump faking, you know what I mean? They're actually busy. Like, they're independent, upright, and fearless, and they're industrious.
And brother, too.
In the industrious act.
And brother, too.
Yeah, brother.
And brother, with all due respect, brother, I love your generation. Like your generation, they the ADHD generation, brother. You know what I mean? They don't have no patience to stick with nothing. You know what I'm saying?
But I can attest to that. Yeah. Because you gotta come correct with us.
my number one mufti, right? My mufti. He said he went to the temple, man. He walked straight in there and was like, I need to know about jurisprudence. They looked at him like he was crazy. They didn't know what he was talking about. And he said he went a couple times. They were singing songs and all that. He seen me on YouTube. He found me. And in reality, I was gonna bring him on the show, but I said nah, because I need to keep him right where he at. But I was gonna bring him on the show, but the way that we came in contact, he actually was going to look for Taj. He came to the temple. He was like, bro, I need you to tell me something. Is this stuff real? You know? And I said, no, it's not real. It's not real at all. He has a tractor trailer. You know what I'm saying? He had a newborn son. I think the son was on the way at the time. You know what I mean? He wanted to protect his son. He thought his son was going to be born into the slave industry or corporation, and he was sending this money. And oh man, and not only Taj, a couple people was about to get it because he go around the country. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, wherever I see him, I'm going. He said, bro, I just need you to tell me something. Anyway, we talked, and this was almost 2 years ago. We've been tight. And very progressive brother, you know. He got all his stuff back. He almost lost everything. He almost lost it all. He got his stuff back. He's still moving forward, and we rocking out and we making it happen. So I say that, man, brother, you got to come if you can find a productive temple, you know, and get brothers of your generation to be patient, to move in position so we can take it where it's supposed to be. We need our Supreme Grand Council. We need the Grand Body and the Supreme Grand Council to work in conjunction with each other like a government's supposed to work. And the Prophet office, but most people don't even know how that works. What is the position in the Supreme Grand Council? You see, We talk about part and parcel. Name some of the positions in the Supreme Grand Council. Average person don't even know. So how can we build a government based on a theocracy by laid out by a prophet of God, i.e. Prophet Ali? We don't even know how it was laid out. We're too busy arguing about part and parcel.
And that's one of the things that should be getting it. Well, that should be getting taught in Temple, because where else are you supposed to get the information about how the Grand Councils was ran? But that's not stuff that's openly expressed. And I know how the adapt chamber going stuff. Like I like, you can Google pictures of me with my temple. Like I was in DC and everything with my temple. I still I just be super busy in like my upliftment of fallen humanity, because I am the temple myself. So it was like I'm always working. So sometimes the temple schedule don't really work with mine right now, because it's I work pretty much 24 hours.
But that's my brother. I got the virtual Moorish Science Temple of America, so we can teach these things that haven't been taught since the time of the prophet. You know what I'm saying?
And I know that I'm going to be a part of that.
All of these brothers, and I'm gonna tell you this: all of these brothers and sisters, especially in RB Bay, they run around quoting the Moorish American the what I'm talking about, not the the oral statements. Hold on 1 second. They be quoting the oral statements of the prophet. Little do they know that one of my elders, teachers, is one who was on the team to put that together. So I know which ones are sound and which ones are phony. I can get him on the phone right now. He was on the investigative team that talked to Sister Pearl Drew Ali. He talked to the Cook Bay's brothers. He pinned those notes and said the Cook Bey said this, such and such Bey said this, such and such Bey said the prophet said this. He pinned that. So when I listen to this stuff, and I'm like, man, if they only knew. I said, so that's why my drive is so strong. Not only that, the history of the Moorish Science Temple of America was laid out by a brother named R. Edwards L. in the book called the Maccabean Files. And it goes from 1913. Just like Taj said, that the prophet was in the old Canaanite temple. And we have investigated that the prophet was not a part of the Canaanite temple. He actually was using it just for a meeting place. That's in the book. So Taj haven't even updated his information from 82. He haven't even updated information. The prophet was never a part of the Canaanite temple. He had his meeting there at the Canaanite temple. My brother on the phone got something to say. Come on, brother. We got to do this again, Tool.
Most definitely, bro. I really want to build with you on your on the temple aspect as well, because anything that's for the upliftment of the people that's going to be done right. I most definitely want to be a part of it. And that way, because I know I have I got a little small following behind me, and I can shift that energy towards you as long. It's right. It's only right, because it's the ancestors' work.
Towards the prophet and the law, because we need progressive Moorish Americans that are willing to do what the prophet did. That are willing to do what the prophet did. You know what I'm saying? Now somebody in the thing said, now somebody in the chat said, what a joke. You can't have a government without a military. Let me explain something to you. They go hand in hand.
We have a multi staff.
First and foremost, we have to establish our unity and trust in one another to build.
Bro, whoever said that the Roman Catholic Church don't got no military in their government?
Not one of them. But no, we
come on, dog, like that, yo. Well,
that's them people. Really? That's them people. That's them people.
The Holy See is a theocratic, autonomous government, a subnational entity, right in the same political jurisdiction as Italy and Rome. Yet it's its own thing, like Washington D.C., and it's its own state. You know what I mean? And they have their own leaders, their own laws, their own IDs, their own baptismal certificates. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have an army. But you will never hear nobody else in the civilized world say, "Oh, you're not a nation or a government because you don't have an army." Ain't nobody messing with them.
But
you know what I mean? They getting they're buying up property. They're buying, like the Amish, the Mennonites, the Hutterites, the Jews, the Mormons. Mormons, the Roman Catholics, they're buying up property and putting it in the name of their church, synagogue, mosque, temple, and taking that stuff out of taxation jurisdiction. And they don't need a 501c3 to do so, because just by being incorporated as a religious organization, that automatically makes them tax exempt.
And this is
what I'm saying. So that person ain't even in the temple. Like, they don't know.
Look,
you just talking.
I want to say this, brother. Those be provocateurs, because the first thing we're going to work on, working with me, is unity, trusting each other, and building something in real time.
Whoever said that brother ain't got no military. Where your military at? You ain't no nation. You ain't no state. You in the state of confusion.
So brother, listen, man, I think this was a great dialogue, brother. We've been on here for about 2.5 hours. It doesn't seem like the time flew by fast. Brother Atum, I appreciate you, brother. I think we got to do this again. I would like to do this midweek next week. I'm serious, like a Thanksgiving show. I'm serious.
Yeah. That's like a bet, man. Especially because you see the type of things I be saying on social media. I actually shared your RV Bay post about you stating that it's a school without a curriculum and all of that. But the Native American thing, like, everybody wants to be Native American, Indian, or more until Thanksgiving come around, bro. I was like, everybody to go eat on Thursday. Y'all know y'all are.
So family, listen.
Man, I'm going right to my family and I'm eating, and I dare somebody to say.
Oh yeah. Hey man, I just told my mother tonight. I said, I'll see y'all Thursday, but I think I'm gonna do a show too.
Go be bitter and go be woke and sit down and tell your family, no, I'm not coming around y'all right now.
I'm not gonna get some. I'm not
gonna. I eat good every day. I'm vegan though, so Thanksgiving ain't really my day.
I'm working on becoming vegan.
I'm vegetarian and I'm still going to eat. Like, I'm gonna go.
That's your family, man. That's your family. Why wouldn't you?
Right. They bathed me, clothed me, fed me. I don't have to share the same religious ideologies. You know what I mean? But wherever they're gathering and they're coming from out of town to other states and they're coming there and I never really get to see them, I don't care what the situation is. If it's a funeral, birthday, whatever holiday, I'm going to come if they call me. If my grandma say, yo, I want to see you. Where you been? Come on, eat. Let me feed you. I'm not going to be like, nah, grandma, I'm too woke. Like, y'all sitting up there worshiping that white man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, come on, dog. That's the difference between knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, bro. That
brother Collinsdale said, y'all going to celebrate the slaughter. Well, Collinsdale, you just don't go see your family that day. Because
don't go see your family, bro. Like, just sit out. You know what I mean? My family know my beliefs. They know I don't get down with that. I don't care nothing about that. Fix my plate and let's play some cards.
And somebody said, be making excuses to go eat swine. Who said something about eating swine?
People terrible, man.
Everything
you gotta ignore that.
You want to go see Nana. You want to go see Big Mama. You ain't say nothing about eating no swine.
Right. My cousins coming from Newark, Cali, Florida, all of them. We never really get together like that. So if they call me, I'm coming. I'm gonna go see my family.
Colin say he sees his whole family every day.
I really do too. I see my family, but we should be able to come together on other time frames besides the ones that have been given to us, besides the ones like by the European. You know?
Them people, you got to understand, everybody in your family works. They got a schedule. They got kids. They go to school, so they only really get certain days off like that other people get. So that be the days that if I have to wait till Tuesday to see you, then I'll meet you on Tuesday. If Tuesday happen to be a religion or some type of belief that you believe in, then so be it.
Brother, let me tell you this. My whole family has become interested in Moorish science from me showing up at New Year's while they were drinking, and I'm even today, my family, people don't know, I had 3 people pass away that was close to the family or family members since 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I did basically the eulogy for my father 2 weeks ago. That's right, Moorish American style, standing ovation in a church. It was in a church. Did my thing for my father.
Yo, my granddaddy is a preacher. He owns his own church. He's been an evangelist for 40-something years, traveled all around the world. We got citizenships in other tribes in Africa, honorary. I got a god brother over there in Ghana. You know, I was raised around Kenyans. My grandfather got a Circle 7 and 101s.
But look, what I'm saying is this.
Lords are still in church. You know what I mean? They be studying. Let them
what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. many New Years, while the New Year was ready to happen, they asked me to say the prayer.
Right.
My aunt,
Right.
my aunt babe sis, she is a devout Christian. She requested
Right.
me to basically eulogize her husband. They know I'm Moorish American without a doubt or contradiction. They know, they wanted to hear that chapter, the death of Elizabeth.
The ministry of death, right.
The ministry of death. So
Death
even,
is no enemy to man,
even
right.
today, my family gathered because people from out of town that came to the funeral gathered today. And I had to leave at 6:30 so I could come and do the show. Everybody there were professed or are professed Christians. They probably watched the show all together right there because that's all they was talking about is what I do on YouTube or Facebook, the whole family. So we have to use these opportunities to reach our people. It ain't about turkey. It ain't about swine. The prophet, when the prophet went to Cuba, he was wearing a sombrero. He wasn't wearing no fez. When he had the ID card or the flyer with the Egyptian had that, he had a shape up. He could have shaped it up a little better, but it was a shape up demonstration. No fez. Man, we got to use every opportunity that we have to get to our people. And we don't care what anybody say. Shout out to Collinsville. I appreciate you. It ain't got nothing to do. Ain't got nothing to do with trying to go eat some ham or turkey. Although I like turkey that time. I'm gonna grab me a plate. If y'all go out there, but anyway, because I didn't get to the vegetarian spot yet. But my family has become interested in the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple of America by me going to them sorts of events. Anything you want to say in closing, my brother on the phone?
And I wanted to ask that, bro, like if your grandmother wanted to give you $1,000 donation on December 25th as a gift for Christmas, you know what I mean? Regardless of what she said it was for, or however, what you mean to tell me you like, nah, I ain't gonna take it today. You know what I mean? Because it's a Satanist holiday. You know what I mean?
No, actually, because I don't celebrate Christmas. I made my contract with my mistress, my spouse on that day. I've been married on that day for almost 3 years, so I would still accept it. In my personal situation, it would just be a marriage gift.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? Oh no, I can't have that meal, Grandma. Don't.
No, but my family know how I am, and also my grandmother is a mother of a church. My grandfather was a minister and all of that, but they know how I feel about all of that, and I meet them where they are, but I myself, I don't backslide or anything. For real, it was like I don't partake in, because in my family, I'm Cherokee and Owaji. I'm one of the darkest in my family, for real. And we don't do a lot of the stuff that a lot of people do. It was like we are real traditional. So Thanksgiving isn't really big where I'm from, as like, because we kind of know where we from.
Man, let me tell you this, man. I had the ability and been fortunate enough to raise my sons from a young age. My oldest son is 20. Raised them from the age of 10 to adulthood, young man. My other son from 8 to 18. My other son is 15. My youngest son is 7. And I have never had to backslide to teach them other than the teachers of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. However, I've always taught them to make it their own. Don't make it the Prophet Noble Drew Ali that you see in me, or the Moorish Science Temple that you see in me. But always know to put the prophet first. So we have never put up a tree, a light, or any of that foolishness. And guess what? My sons have always had more than what the average one of their friends have had. They never wanted for nothing. And never had a tree or a gift under it. Not in my house.
And I don't celebrate Christmas in my household, but my son, he gets stuff year round. It was like he's a super privileged child, as I was. So things I won't partake in because I know they're just not right, regardless of food.
I'm my family members, right? I'm not gonna stop my family members from giving my son gifts because of what they believe they want to give him. I'm not gonna be like, nah, don't give.
Whatever you want. But I tell them, ain't no Europeans handing you this stuff. It's coming straight from your family that you see. I don't partake in a lie. No one way, shape, or form. My son don't get told about Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, none of that stuff because it's a lie. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving because it's wrong. Because I'm Cherokee and Owaji. My people were slaughtered because of that. I'm just dark. And it's like, I'm one of the darkest in my family. So I won't partake in my people's death. That's like me celebrating slavery, bro.
But you won't go and visit the family just because it's Thanksgiving. Somebody came around for the first time in 10 years.
I can honestly say, and other people can vouch for me, no, I won't. Because I can see them all throughout the rest of the year.
No, I'm just saying.
I kick it with my people. We talk often. My family's pretty close. I'm one of the most distant because I work the way I do and I travel.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Is there that one cousin that you really love that you never get a chance to see, and he finally comes in town, and it just so happens that he came in town December 25th? You're not going to go to your grandmother's house just to see him and shake his hand?
Bro.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Let me say this. You're going to say no. But you know what's funny to me?
This dude is a robot.
But you know what's funny?
Child, bro. That don't mean nothing to me.
You know what's funny to me? The same person said that they won't go to grandma's house because they celebrating Christmas. They will go to the mall with Christmas lights all over the place during the Christmas season. They won't stop shopping though. They will go to the grocery store with candy canes hanging all around. Leave it all alone there, because actually you're supporting the commercialization of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying you're going to your grandmother's house on the principle of the relation that binds you to love and unity. You're not going there on the principle in which they understand.
The spiritual aspect is correct behind it, but we also have to learn, like, things have energy behind it. The thought and the energy that comes along. I love the wintertime. You know, when you live up in the north, you see the Christmas lights and stuff, it make you feel reminiscent of family. But it's built on fraud. It's just like the U.S.
I do. I don't.
Brother Tarka,
Yes,
let me get him. You know how much evil been done on this earth, on this planet? You know how much evil vibration is all on this planet? All 196
the same amount is good is balanced.
You mean to tell me that you not going to a house because of a vibration? Well, what do you think been going on this planet? You ducking those vibrations? Come on, you eating food that used to be living. You ducking those vibrations? You know what I'm saying? You in a car that other people, you go in the stores that other people walk in that worship the devil, that eat babies, that have sex with each other, that do animals. You ducking those vibrations? Come on, dog.
That's heavy, brother.
Come on,
brother. That's heavy right there, brother.
It's a difference between knowledge and wisdom and understanding. I'm not going to slap a gift out of my grandmother's hand that she tried to give my son out the kindness of her heart just because.
Now, I might pop my mom. Mom just like, hey.
Nobody's saying that at all. No one has ever said no one said I would slap any gifts. That's not right at all. And it's like, I love the spirit. Like I said, I love the spirit, but it's the fact that it's built on fraud and false pretenses. How can I be supportive of that? Me being upright more.
Listen, this is such a delighting conversation, and we're going to continue this on Thursday. I hope y'all and we're going to come up with some type of topic on Thursday, but I want to share this with the brother real quick. I do. I want to share this with the brother.
You're a robot.
I want to share this with the brother. Brother, this is what we got to know. I ain't even talking about the
my phone chopping out.
I'm not even talking about the spirit of the season. Forget the spirit of the season, if we will. Let's do the spirit of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. In the Holy Covenant Asiatic nation, it said, ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care. Our father would be the prophet of law, the prophet of Allah, or Allah, however you choose to break it down. You are the children of one father, provided for by his care. The breath of one mother have given ye suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee. Now listen to this part. Listen to this part. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brother, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that binds you to love and unity. When you separate the world, it could be a state of mind that separates you from your people. You know what I mean? You might not be on a unified thought, but remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. Brother, don't let the strange workings, and I'm just this interpretation. I'm not saying this is what it means. I'm just giving a little interpretation to say, brother, let's not let these things come into our cipher to divide us. You know what I'm saying? Especially your immediate family, because that same person that you say, man, I ain't going today because it's Christmas, that could be the day of their end on this plane of things made manifest. And we know death is no enemy to man, but I would love to have seen my family member for the last time, as opposed to not because of some holiday that doesn't mean nothing to me anyway. Doesn't make sense to me. You know,
right.
So we're going
to the family be like, you mean to tell me you have a different belief system, but you're still willing to come and see me and hug me and talk with me?
What makes you do that?
About what you believe.
What makes you do that?
More about.
It reminds me that it reminds me how the Prophet Ali teaches through the teachings of our ancestor Jesus that the pure in heart will love and not demand love in return. You know what I mean? You go in love. You ain't got to demand nothing from them. You go in love. You just go in love, man. I'm not demanding you. I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you from experience. My mother would verify this, bro. When I over 10 years ago, when I got super serious about Moorish Science, I told my mother straight up. In '96, I told my mother, you gotta take that Jesus off the wall. That ain't our brother. And my mother took Jesus off the wall, but she came back home with the Indian one. You know, that one out Family Dollar. He came with him. He still had that European hair, but he was a little bit copper though. You know what I'm saying? But and then about 10 years ago, when I got super serious about Moorish Science, I stopped going to my family's celebration. I would stay home, you know, and as I evolved and I grew, I'm like, hold up, man. You know, as you get older, people start passing away, you know, and that could be the last time that you physically see them or the last chance that you can physically see them. Now, am I going to let their concept or perception of what a holiday is keep me from seeing a person that could be my last time? I had 3 deaths in the family within the last 2 weeks. I don't think that phony, fictitious holiday is going to keep me from seeing my family in love. Now, you ain't getting me now. I don't really want nothing from you.
We go see people every day that got different beliefs than us. I don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear it. I visit. I do business with people. I got certain girlfriends. You know what I mean?
That's just like this.
I'm not about.
That's just like if you do business with, say for instance, if you do business with a Hebrew Israelite and they invite you to one of their holidays. Prophets say one of the things we need is religious tolerance.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said it, because in the Circle 7 Koran that we swear we all read, did not Jesus go among the Hindus?
There we go. There we go. They didn't believe the same. Man, he had to correct them.
He went to Greece.
He said, Moreno. Who told you these things? That man which is mine. He go from a worm to a beast and then to a man. Who told you these things? Because Moreno, he was of a different religious persuasion. He was, brother, we need to get this temple thing right. We need to get this temple thing right.
That's a whole nother subject. But I'm gonna leave y'all with this right here. You know, if me personally, if we're not teaching, you know what I mean, the civics, we're talking about the people that have said, okay, I'll go. You know what I mean? A lot of them are looking for the law aspect of the temple. How can we use religion to liberate ourselves and our property? If you're not acquiring property together as a group, you know what I'm saying, and putting your property, your homes, your cars, your businesses in the name of the temple, clearing it, you know, taking it out from the jurisdiction, you feel what I'm saying, covering it by the temple in the name of the Moorish Science Temple of America or the Prophet, and getting your tax exemption, if where you go and shop and grocery shop, you don't do it. Everything you do is as a missionary, you know what I mean, because you're a sheep. you know what I mean, or you're an adept or you're a member, you know what I mean, and you are supposed to enjoy the immunities that come with that membership entitled of the name of faithful. So if you're a faithful card carrying dues paying member, you're supposed to be able to see what the prophet really did for us. You know what I mean? And if you never saw that and you've been in your same house or your temple for umpteen million years, then you need to find another temple home that do practice those aspects. You see what I'm saying?
Or guess what? Or put yourself in a position where the opportunity that you can open up a temple or oversee a temple or be a part of a progressive temple to make it your own.
Right.
That it can demonstrate your ideas.
Yeah. But see, I know some people that, you know, or some people that, you know what I mean, you got sick people from all types of walks of life. So you got people that have been through this, people that have been abused, so that the spiritual aspects of cleaning yourself up, being pure, amending your acts, and renewing your ways, you know what I mean, using the tools of the workshop of the mind to build up your thought and your character, you know what I mean, to, you know, have the solid rock of salvation and understanding, you know what I mean, perfect your man, you know, getting into your higher self. You're going to need that. You know what I'm saying? But also with them spiritual powers come raw powers with that spiritual power.
This is what we're going to do. Bro, this is what we're going to do. We're going to create a panel.
I got to get off. I'm going to get off this joint, man.
No, we're going to create a panel. I'm in my brother in his inbox. I'm going to get you on here because I like y'all can talk like me and we can cut each other off, man. But there's going to be some strong conversation. Nobody going to get mad. Nobody going to cuss each other out. And we're going to build on the things that we disagree with, we're going to try to clear up. And then the things that we agree with, we're going to build upon so that people can learn some lessons. I think we're going to set a panel up. I would like to get Colin Zell on here because he always coming off smooth. And then that's my brother though, bro. And I see, and I be seeing you on that severe thing. Man. I be seeing you, Colin Zell. Yeah, I don't want to say nothing. I be trolling because I got to watch these guys. I be seeing you on there. I'm like, look at him over here. Bigging up Sabir. Sabir talking crazy as ever, wearing all these crazy charms on around his neck, talking crazy. No, Sabir, all right, I just laugh. So no.
Sabir want that money.
Yeah, Sabir
want that guap.
Yeah, Sabir want that paper. He definitely want that paper. But Sabir, if you watching, brother, I'm telling you, brother, one thing I do respect about you is that you know how to hold your tongue when you're supposed to. Keep doing that. I'm gonna keep it like that.
People that made Sabir angry. Sabir's angry. People that made him angry.
He ain't angry with me.
I don't know who ran across Sabir or whatever like that, but he is vexed. Like he don't want to hear nothing. Show him the paper. He ain't dealing with this. He don't want to hear nothing. Like show him the guap.
So you know what I mean? Like, I gotta get out here. I gotta get my son ready for school tomorrow. You know what I mean? If I don't move, he don't move. It's like when I move, you move. Just like that. He ain't gonna move unless I move. I'm trying to tell you. That's just how he get down. You know what I'm saying? Taji, come here, brother. I'm gonna tell you, see. Come here. Come on over here. You stand outside that door waiting for me. Come say hi to the Moorish world people. Come say hi to the Moorish world people. Say Islam to them.
Islam.
They don't see you say Islam.
Islam, little man.
You stand out there wait for me.
Yeah.
Good is great. You ain't gonna move unless I move, huh? All right. Why don't you take us out with the Moorish American prayer? Can you take us out? Allah, Father, Universe. Yeah. Let's take us out with the Moorish American prayer. Come on, let's say it.
Islam.
You gotta speak up. Come on now.
Allah, the Father, Universe.
Allah, the Father, Universe.
Father, love.
Father, love.
Truth.
Peace. Freedom.
And justice.
Allah
is my protector.
Allah is my protector. My God.
And my salvation.
By night.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet. Through Ali. Amen. Islam. So with that family, we up out here. My son ain't gonna go to sleep until I get off here. It just is what it is. That's just how we rock. I'm soft. I'm soft for my little man. It is what it is. It is what it is. You got it. Islam. So peace and love, family. We're going to do this again real soon. Peace to my brother on the phone. Peace to Atul. We're going to do this one more time. Hopefully we can do it every other week once a month or something, create a panel. Man, this was a nice discussion. And like I say, Taj Tariq Bey do not teach Prophet Noble Drew Ali or Science. Islam.